Yo, it's your boy Orion, one half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video! Free agency frenzy. Today is Monday. It has been wild. Your boy has been very, very busy grinding today. 7 reaction videos and updates with breaking news with different players being traded, signed, cut. It's been definitely wild. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here or through patreon.com/NWSF. You can also go to our GoFundMe.com, type in NW space sports space fanatics, and it can kind of go over the dream project of opening up the studio here in my hometown. But I'll go over kind of a list of all the different moves. The recent move that just happened that I saw on Twitter was Marcus Mariota. The jersey as I got on right now is going to the Las Vegas Raiders. So a lot of moves, a lot of craziness. You know, DeAndre Hopkins and David Johnson. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg with everything that's going on. So I can kind of go over all the different moves that have happened from pretty much this morning until just as of recently with the Marcus Mariota to the Raiders. And I think that's a great fit. You know, John Gruden knows that he's got a piece there that he doesn't have to worry about off the field. It's going to be one of those things once you get Marcus Mariota in the building. The Carr experiment with Derek Carr is over, so at least you can have someone that I feel that can be a little bit more accurate. Carr got booed at the last game. Obviously, they're in Oakland, so we already know that the fans were already over it, and they wanted someone that they feel that could maybe be an upgrade. Marcus Mariota, really with him, it's just not getting injured, you know, on a week-to-week basis. But other than that, I feel that that's a good fit for the Raiders. Going forward, I mean, what does that really leave for Jameis Winston, Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, and a few others that are still available? That's a good question. But I want to be able to go over, as I'm scrolling through, and I can kind of go over, since I did 6 or 7 reaction videos earlier today, to kind of go over what we were saying, because I wanted to get doing it with no fans in the Performance Center. So I'm not more than likely going to watch it. I mean, I want to watch WrestleMania, but, you know, just the fact that no fans, the energy, the pop, the vibe, I can really hardly see them putting WrestleMania on at the Performance Center with no fans in the building. It's really going to be that exciting at that point. So I'll wait for a few other people to hop in the room, and then I'll kind of go over all the different pieces that have been moved. Hopefully everyone is having a fantastic Monday. You know, your boy's been grinding. Like I said, I've been putting out around 7 different videos already today. So it's been a very busy day with all the different moves, but I hope everyone is having a fantastic day and a start of their week in spite of all the coronavirus, you know, making you stay home, buying all the toilet paper, you know, and going through all that process. At least it gives us something that even though we're not able to watch a lot of sports, at least free agency is keeping things really exciting. AJ Selman, what to do? Who's going to be the quarterback for the Bucs? Tom Brady, baby. Tom Brady. Sarah Small working from home. She's happy. Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner news from the Niners. You got to keep one of those players. And then obviously with DeForest Buckner, you're able to get someone that is a horse. I didn't really know if that trade was going to happen or that deal was going to happen. But for Colts fans, I mean, it was a lot, you know, per year, you know, with the $21 million. But with that even being said, now you got a force up front, a Darius Leonard in the middle, and a Malik Hooker on the back end. So I absolutely love it. You know, DeForest Buckner has got to get a lot of people excited. Jalen Anthony Brown, what to do? NB Talk Sports, what to do? So like I said, as you guys have seen in a lot of the posts, I have been extremely busy. I've been grinding. Like I said, I think I put out 7 videos today. That might be a record, right? 7 on top of doing the live stream. So we got NFL updates in free agency frenzy 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here or through patreon.com/NWSF. You can also donate at the GoFundMe.com, going to the search bar and typing in NW space sports space fanatics, and then it'll go over me and Marcus's picture and the dream project of opening up a YouTube studio here in my hometown. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. I had my Joey Harrington old school jersey on, but as soon as the Raiders news broke, I changed into this one. I thought it was fitting because I was going to do a reaction video to Marcus Mariota going to the Raiders, just like I did with a lot of the other videos today. But since I was already going to be hopping on the live stream, I figured that'll be something that I can kind of just go over in this. And then maybe later on tonight, I'll do a Marcus Mariota maybe highlight package, just going over the news as well. But I hope everyone is doing great. Comment below on anything that you guys want to talk about. I mean, free agency frenzy has been crazy. I have a lot to go over with a lot of the videos that I've already done based off grades, the trades, the new deals. It has been really exciting today. This might be one of the most exciting times that I've really felt in free agency in quite some time. Normally it's really exciting, right? But with this year, I don't know, man. I just feel it's a little bit different with all the different quarterbacks and all the different news coming around. So to start it off in the beginning, the Texans in that awful trade. I mean, Deshaun Watson might as well just leave, right? I mean, what are you doing there? I mean, I know it's a business and it's about money and not wanting to pay DeAndre Hopkins long term, but DeAndre Hopkins was arguably the number one wide receiver or number two wide receiver for years and years and years with AB, Antonio Brown, and then can't guard Mike. Michael Thomas came around and started getting his, stats up and getting his recognition up. And then Julio has always been in that third, fourth, fifth for the most part. But let's go over some of the moves, and I'll acknowledge everyone as well. So in the beginning of the day, Giants expected to place the franchise tag on Leonard Williams. They ended up doing that. My boy Shaq Barrett staying with the Buccaneers. That really got me excited for him and JPP. I ended up watching a highlight reel of all 19 and a half sacks of Shaq Barrett. And I knew that if you have to choose between Shaq Barrett, 19 and a half sacks, and the most sacks that he had prior to that was 5.5. Some people will say that's a flash in the pan. But if you actually watch the playing time that he got and his one-on-ones, his footwork, his hands, his burst, I really like this move with Shaq Barrett and JPP staying with the Bucs because I really need that stability on defense with Devin White from LSU's rookie season, and then obviously having Levante David, my favorite player, on the defense. I don't have a full complement yet on defense, but it's just nice to know that my studs are going to be staying around for a few more years, and that way I can let Jameis Winston walk. And hopefully I can bring Tom Brady in. Now, initially when free agency started, I wasn't really too thrilled on the idea of like Phillip Rivers or Tom Brady. But as I think about it now, if I can get a running back, Melvin Gordon, Jordan Howard, Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, and then add a Tom Brady, that's going to be really nice for my organization. Just a Band-Aid. I mean, my dream would have Trevor Lawrence coming to my team next year. That would be the ultimate dream for me, to be able to have Trevor Lawrence and then like a Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin at running back this year. That would be awesome for me to be able to move forward, knowing that I got a franchise running back, and having a franchise QB. But if I end up getting Tom Brady, more than likely I'm going to have a good chance to compete for a wild card spot, moving forward. Maybe even try to challenge the New Orleans Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers, depending on what happens next year. And that's exciting for a team like myself, a hardcore fan since 2000. They haven't been to the playoffs since 2007, but a fan since 1995. It's been a long road for my Bucs. They need to get better in the secondary. That's big facts. I got a lot of problems with the roster. The O-line is trash. I don't have a running back. The secondary is horrible. But, you do have Devin White. You do have Levante David. You got JPP now. You got Shaq Barrett. So I'm really excited that we're getting Shaq Barrett on, to keep him around. And that means that hopefully Jameis can move on because I don't really want him around. I want to move on. Something different. Anybody but Jameis Winston. It's just those turnovers are killer. Chiefs placed the tag on who? Chris Jones. And I absolutely love that. You needed to make sure you did something like that to keep him there. The interesting one, the Packers agreed to terms with linebacker Christian Kirksey, and that's good. It gives him another piece from the Cleveland Browns that he can make a little bit more of a name for himself rather than Cleveland. So I don't mind that move. And Kirksey limited to 9 games total in the past 2 seasons, so he is a little injury prone, but he had 138 tackles in 2017 with the Cleveland Browns. So if he can stay healthy, that'll be a big up and up for the Green Bay Packers and adding a nice piece there. Steelers placed a franchise tag on Bud Dupree. I did a top 15 free agent video a couple days ago, and as you know, he was in my top 15, so I'm glad to see that he's coming back. That is a must-see piece. Again, NFL updates and free agency frenzy 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here or through patreon.com/NWSF. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. And then earlier this morning, Kirk Cousins, a 2-year contract extension. He's getting paid. I'm not sure if he's really worth it. Stephon Diggs kind of had a little jab on him on Twitter. Obviously, they don't really get along. Diggs is kind of in his own world. Sometimes he says he's happy. Sometimes he wants to leave the Vikings. I don't really know that full relationship that's there. But I don't know if Kirk Cousins is really worth this big dollar amount money, the extension. I think that they could actually do better with someone else, but they've already invested all their time and money with him, so I guess you're just going to have to roll with them. I don't know if I can really see them making an NFC Championship game with Kirk Cousins, right, or Super Bowl, but I guess the Vikings in their building, they feel that it is possible. I don't, personally. Falcons released Devontae Freeman. So for a guy that, had an up news career and then kind of went downhill, and started sliding in his value as far as a running back. It's interesting to see if anyone has any interest for Devontae Freeman, moving forward. Titans used a franchise tag on one of my favorites, Derrick Henry. It was originally going to be about 12 or 13 million, and it went down to about 10. So he's probably pissed. He's probably not happy. But at least you got Ryan Tannehill in the building. You got Derrick Henry with the franchise tag. Conklin ended up moving on, so you're not going to be able to keep him around, which is unfortunate, but you got 2 out of the 3. The Bengals utilized a franchise tag on A.J. Green. So that is something that if Joe Burrow is the first pick in the draft, he's going to love that. We just got to hope A.J. Green can end up staying healthy for a full season. The Bucs need to sign Freeman. No thanks. I don't want him. I mean, he's too injury prone for me. I don't really need him. Jordan Howard, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor. If that was my number one choice out of all the running backs that are available in free agency, or the draft, that's the one that I kind of want for my Buccaneers personally, the one that I feel that could be the 3-down back, someone I can grow with and enjoy, especially if my team has sucked for so long. Bringing in Tom Brady, if that happens, I'm praying that it does, because if I don't get Tom Brady and he goes back to the Pats, my options are really limited. I mean, who do I have available? Then it's going to be Jameis coming back, Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Bridgewater, right? Andy Dalton, and I know Nick Foles. I know, obviously, they're looking at the Bears, or the Bears are looking at them to compete with Mitchell Trubisky. That's not looking too good for me. I mean, if I can get Tom Brady, it's a Band-Aid. Yes, it's only for like 1 or 2 years. But for last year, it wasn't all his fault, and he still had 23 to 24 touchdown passes, only like 8 picks, I believe. And Jameis 33 and 30. I mean, I don't want 30 interceptions and all those pick sixes. He had 6 or 7, led the league, all those fumbles that he lost. So, I mean, even though Brady's old, 42, 43, he's a winner, and I'd rather take a guy that's a winner that knows how to control the clock, not going to turn the ball over. And I'm not trying to win a Super Bowl. If Tom Brady comes to my roster, it's just getting Bucs on the map, to get the Buccaneers on the map to see what they can do. Best available free agents now on NFL Network. Amari Cooper, Jadeveon Clowney wants big money. Drew Brees, but pretty much Drew Brees is coming back to Nolans. Corey Littleton from the Rams. Tom Brady, come to the Bucs. And Phillip Rivers, there was some interest with the Bucs there as well. But I think Phillip Rivers is going to sign with the Colts. And I'm praying that Tom Brady comes to the Buccaneers, because at least at that point, I know I'm going to be able to be competitive for the next 2 years if Tom can come. Tony Grady, Raiders. Your new quarterback, Marcus Mariota. Got the jersey on. I had a feeling you might come in the building, my guy. Hopefully you're having a great day. And anybody other than Derek Carr is a good sign. Obviously you got David Carr here on the TV, his brother, but I like it. For a guy that has pretty good stats, from touchdown to interception ratio, his only issue is sometimes getting injured, right? But with John Gruden and Mayock, I think it's a good fit, and I think you're going to be able to get more out of Marcus Mariota with the Raiders, especially going to Vegas. I think it's a good fit. I know they were linking Jameis Winston there, but like I said, Jameis Winston could go to the Pats if they want to go that route. He can go somewhere else. I don't really know what team is going to go after him. Maybe the Bears, maybe the Patriots. There's going to be a lot of maybe, surprise team. There we go, baby. Odin's Child, $10 donation has started off. Your boy is grinding 7 reaction videos today. I mean, I don't know if I've done that many in a day in a long time, and a live stream. You tell me who works harder on YouTube. It's your boy. And like I said, I appreciate you very much. I don't know if you're still watching Raw, Odin's Child, with no fans in the building. Did the WrestleMania update as well. Unfortunate to hear that's going to be at the Performance Center with no fans. I don't know if I'm going to watch it still. Unfortunate, but you can let me know and update me as things go. But I appreciate you guys. Very, very much. So a lot has been going on, as you guys have seen, with everything. But Marcus Mariota, getting back to that, I absolutely love that. Him going to the Raiders. So I was playing Xbox for the last couple hours, so you telling me was the first time hearing about it. Okay, there you go. I'm updating you. And I've done a bunch of different videos today. Started off the day with Dak Prescott. Cowboys placed the exclusive franchise tag on Dak Prescott. Finally. So they have until July 15th, right? July 15th to get the long-term deal done. If not, then they're going to have him play for that 1 year, and then they could always try to do it the following year, but the longer you wait, the money is going to go up, up, up. So I'm glad they at least got that done. Now we just have to think about Amari Cooper, because we saw Byron Jones, Byron Jones, the number one highest paid corner in the league with the Dolphins with all that cap space. So it'll be interesting to see on how that plays out, because now you got Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. So as far as a tandem for corners, that's actually one of the best in the NFL. Everyone clowns on the Dolphins. Everyone likes to talk shit about them, kind of like the Buccaneers back in the past with the Cardinals before this DeAndre Hopkins thing happened. But now you're starting to see the bottom feeders are climbing their way up, and it's been really exciting lately. So Dak staying there with the Cowboys. Now you got to get Amari Cooper signed, locked, dotted. Cross the T's, dot the I's, get that contract signed. And if not, then they can always go for a wide receiver, in the draft. I mean, they definitely have plenty to choose from, but it just depends on Amari Cooper. I mean, I imagine he wants to stay in Dallas, compared to some of these other pieces that have been kind of floating around and some of the other deals that have got done. So as I'm just kind of scrolling through and going through everything here, let's keep going up and I'll go through that. Packers agree to terms with right tackle Rick Wagner, sort of a lower name. Cardinals use a transition tag for running back Kenyon Drake, and that was a big part of the David Johnson trade. So with the David Johnson trade that happened, right, with DeAndre Hopkins, with the fourth rounders and all that, so it made you already understand that they already had 100% belief in Kenyon Drake, 0% belief in David Johnson. Now, as far as fantasy is concerned, for fantasy football, David Johnson's value is going to go up now because he's going to be the sole main guy, right, for Houston Texans. But as far as trying to win a championship or to do something long term, Ruiz in the building, what it do? I just don't see it. But now you got Kyler Murray. He was really vouching for his boy CeeDee Lamb. That's probably not going to happen now, right? Since you got DeAndre Hopkins there, but you got Larry Fitz, DeAndre Hopkins. You end up having a nice squad for the Cardinals. I'm really liking what they're starting to build there. And you got the Rams, you got the Niners, you got the Seahawks. Now this Cardinals team is starting to come around. Yeah, they need some more O-line help, and yeah, they need some defense, but they're going to be fun to watch. They're going to put butts in the seats, and when the Cardinals are on TV on Sunday Night Football, you're probably going to tune in because you're like, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and Larry Fitz. You're definitely going to see the ball being aired out. DeAndre Hopkins is going to get a lot of stats, and like I said, it probably was a little surprising, at one point when he heard the news. But, I mean, at this point, if the Texans don't know what the fuck they're doing, Bill O'Brien is an idiot. I'm not like him as a head coach. I don't like him as a quote-unquote GM. I don't like him as a play caller. It just, ever since that he came there, everything has just gone to the shitter. Right? And that's just my opinion. Will Fuller is left, but he gets hurt all the time. J.J. Watt is left, but he gets hurt all the time. Now I feel for Deshaun Watson. If I was him, I'd be like, get me the fuck out of here because you're not going to win anything there. Everyone likes to criticize the Cowboys in Texas. Cowboys, Cowboys, right? But the Texans are really kind of like the knuckleheads in Texas. Like, what the fuck are they doing? But, I mean, it's one person's game, right? It's a lot of money that they're going to have to play. I know the NFL is a business, right? I know it is. But I just, the value with the trades is just insane to me that happened. So Cardinals use a transition tag for Kenyon Drake. So Kenyon Drake, Kyler Murray, Larry Fitz, and DeAndre Hopkins, a top 2 wide receiver in the fucking game with Michael fucking Thomas. God, I mean, I can't wait to watch Cardinal games, and then I want to see who they end up drafting because I know that they're not going to end up drafting, the CeeDee Lamb pick that they originally wanted. But who are they going to look at? And we have to look at some of the other pieces of people trading up and trading down. Patriots elect to franchise Joe Thuney, left guard, so at least they keep that piece around there as well. Vikings place franchise tag on Anthony Harris, the safety. Not a lot of safeties that are available on the market, so we're going to have to wait and see. After the Byron Jones, Byron Jones! After he ended up signing with the Dolphins, then who do you think of next? Chris Harris Jr. Cowboys, Bills, Jets, and the Raiders. They are the ones that are looking at him. So we'll have to see which one would be the best fit for Chris Harris. I mean, obviously with the Bills, with Tre'Davious White, Jets need everything. So, and the Raiders need a lot of help too on defense. So those two teams have the most need. But if you go to the Cowboys or the Bills, you're definitely going to be more in the playoff hunt, and you have better pieces around where you're going to actually be able to show off your skill set more. So more than likely, if I was Chris Harris Jr., I would probably be leaning towards the Bills and the Cowboys, unless you get a big payday from like the Raiders, and then Jets would obviously be last on my list, depending on where I would want to go. But he could be a nice cog on the Raiders. He would look good in that uniform. The Bills, he would be great there as well, right? Sitting next to Tre'Davious White, who's underrated, in my opinion, and the Cowboys. They just lost Byron Jones, so there is an opening. And then obviously with Byron Jones, we knew it was Dolphins, Jets, Raiders, and Eagles. I thought the Eagles, number one, Dolphins, two. But then, they pulled the trigger. They had a lot of cap money, a lot of cap space, and they got it done. So that's exciting to see that the Dolphins, with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, a lot of people are like, Byron Jones sucks. He only has like 2 picks, right, within the last few years, right? He used to play safety. So then he transitioned to corner. So remember what he is. He's not just this full-blown corner. He's not this machine that's going to get 5, 6, 7, 8 picks, right out the gates. He's not that type of player, right? He's not like a Stephon Gilmore. He's not, like some of these other guys that were just pick 6 machines, right? But the thing is he's a great cover corner, right? And it's a guy that you can rotate at safety or corner or nickel. You can move him around. He's going to blanket whoever he's guarding, and you need those kind of guys. It's a passing league. So that's why the value for Byron Jones and Chris Harris Jr. are so high, because you see guys like Patrick Mahomes and all the other quarterbacks slinging it and flinging it, that you're going to have some defense back there to at least help. Otherwise, you're going to be fucked from game in and game out. Just ask my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Going against Cam Newton every year, twice a year. Matt Ryan twice a year. Fucking Drew Brees twice a year. It's a fucking nightmare. That's like 6 losses right out the gates right there. You say he's still not worth all that money, right? But if the teams have money to pay, right, they're going to obviously use the cap money for someone. So sometimes they'll get extra money, couple, 2, 3, 4 million more per year than they normally would. But if you know that you can have that lockdown guy, I'm telling you, in the next 2 to 3 years, if the Dolphins hit on some of their picks, they are going to be a playoff team. You're going to be seeing them right at the borderline of being a wild card team in a couple years. They have so many picks, and if they can just, get the right pieces on the right team, if they get Tua or they get Herbert and they start, picking nice Dobbins and they start getting guys at running back and offensive line and quarterback, and then they already got Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, and they keep building. In 3 years, we might see the Dolphins at like 10-6. I don't think that's that crazy to think. 9-7, 10-6, maybe even capping out at 11 wins. I don't really think it's that crazy. So, in my opinion, I know the Byron Jones thing looks crazy, but to me, as a guy that follows every single team, every single contract, going through everything, you just can't listen necessarily to what ESPN says or some, Maurice Jones-Drew or David Carr on NFL Network. You got to make your own opinion by looking at the tape and making your own decision instead of just listening to what other people say what you should think. And that's what a lot of people do. They just watch little, snippets on ESPN or SportsCenter, and then they try to make their mind up for you. But for me, I'm not like that. I like to watch a tape on my own to be able to see, is he worth the money or is he not? Still, in my opinion, I like the move for the Dolphins. They had the money. They ended up spending it. Young Nola in the building. Colts pursuing quarterback Phillip Rivers. And I like this because you got connections with Frank Reich. You got connections with the OC. So this makes the most sense. I know Tampa Bay was in the mix, for him. But I think bottom line, if you really want to be able to maximize what you have, with the quarterback position, you already got an amazing O-line led by Quentin Nelson, my favorite O-lineman in the entire NFL. I absolutely love him, right? You got Buckner, right? You end up getting Darius Leonard. And you got Malik Hooker on the back end, so you got a good solid piece on each level. Costanzo ended up getting re-signed there as well. So I really like what the Colts are doing and what they're building. And remember just a few years ago when they had Grigson and they had all the other pieces back in the day with the GM and all the pieces that fell in line. The Colts were a nightmare, in the NFL draft just a few years ago, 5-10 years ago, when they had Andrew Luck in his prime. It's like they were picking the wrong guys. They were trading up, they were trading down. It just seemed like they they didn't know what the hell they were doing. But now with Frank Reich and everyone that they got in the building now you can see, to me, they are a top 3 run organization in the league based off who they're drafting, who they're picking up. Because even looking at Darius Leonard and Quentin Nelson, if they can stay healthy for the remainder of their careers, that's 2 Hall of Famers, in my opinion. I mean, they're that good. So we just want to see if we can get Phillip Rivers in there. Obviously, what does that mean for Jacoby Brissett? And Phillip Rivers, as an older quarterback, would need an amazing O-line to give him time. The Colts have that. And you just need to be able to go to Marlon Mack and, T.Y. and look at all the other options, maybe get some more weapons on offense for him as well. But I do like the move of Phillip Rivers possibly tomorrow, going to the Colts. We'll see if it gets done. It'll be a better fit for him to go to the Colts rather than Phillip Rivers coming to Tampa Bay. If I get him, it doesn't really make as much sense because my O-line isn't as good as the Colts. But, I mean, if you think about it, if you're QB and you're leaving where you've been playing for quite some time, where would you want to go? Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? I mean, think about that. So that might be on Tom Brady's, radar. I want to go back to New England, Tom says. I want to go back. But Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, I mean, those two are better than anyone that they got on New England right now, even though Julian Edelman, is still doing his thing from time to time. But, I mean, as far as moving forward, Chris Godwin's age, his progression, and how great Mike Evans is, it'll be something that Tom will probably consider, and I'm hoping that he comes over. And I never thought I would ever say something like that. Tom Brady possibly thinking of the Buccaneers. Chargers, Buccaneers, Patriots. It looks like those are the final 3 to see where they go. Austin Hooper. Obviously, I saw different teams that needed tight ends, the Bears, and a few other teams were really in a need, the Redskins, with Jordan Reed in that situation. He goes to the Browns on a mega deal. 4-year, $44 million, and I like that. I mean, I don't really know the progression of Baker Mayfield, if he's going to end up panning out as this quarterback of the future for them, or if he's just going to kind of flatline in a couple years and they're going to have to move on from him. But there's not a lot of excuses there. You got Odell Beckham, you got Jarvis Landry, you got Njoku, now you got Austin Hooper, and Hooper got injured. But he can still put up good stats. To me, if he plays a 16, 17-game season, he can get you over 1,000 yards and 6 to 10 touchdowns if you give him the opportunity. So I definitely like him. Eric Flowers, offensive lineman, 3-year deal to the Dolphins, so they wanted to protect some of the pieces, maybe Tua or Justin Herbert, depending on who they have there. Cardinals, Texans swap David Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins in the blockbuster, and I ended up doing a reaction video to that. That's the biggest one of the day. That's the biggest one of the month. That's the biggest one of the year, and that's the biggest one in possible many, many years. We've not seen things of that nature in quite some time. The Arizona Cardinals and Houston Texans completed a trade Monday, sending wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, top 2 in the NFL right now, to Arizona, and running back David Johnson to Houston. The Cardinals also receive a 2020 4th-round pick, while the Texans receive a 2020 2nd-round pick and a 2021 4th-round pick. I get it. You're getting picks, but you're not going to be able to get a DeAndre Hopkins. And as much as I love CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, who's to say that they are ever going to be as good as DeAndre Hopkins? They could be. I love their talent. Those are the 2 best by far, in my opinion, when you look at wide receivers in this draft. But DeAndre Hopkins has proved he's got great body control, some of the best hands that I've ever seen in the NFL, great route running, a winner, and he's going to really help Kyler Murray. And I just really feel really, really bad for Deshaun Watson because, how can you play for an organization like that when you're getting rid of your top guys and you're not really getting anything back in return? Just crazy to me. So obviously, no matter who the Texans get, unless they end up getting guys that end up being perennial Pro Bowlers out of those picks, or guys that have a potential Hall of Fame, asterisk by their name, then maybe you could be like, all right, I didn't like it initially, but at least they ended up getting nice pieces. But it's a Texans, so I don't really know if they're going to evaluate properly. And overall, I like what the Cardinals did. Huge, huge pickup. DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitz, and Larry Fitz is on his way out, right? So he's not going to be playing there that much longer. He's going to retire a Cardinal eventually. So when he goes, DeAndre Hopkins can be the main stud there. So you don't got anything to worry about there, and that'll really help Kyler Murray. But you got to make sure you get the O-line beefed up. Otherwise, he's not going to have time to get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitz and Christian Kirk as well. 49ers agree to a 5-year mega deal with D lineman Eric Armstead. I like that. 54 tackles, 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a forced fumble in 3 playoff games while lining up on the edge. A stud. And what I said in the videos yesterday, Who's better than Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, and Nick Bosa as a trio? I didn't think that there was anyone better than those three, and then one of them ended up going to the Colts, DeForest Buckner. But before that happened, Armstead got the money. I absolutely love it. Armstead, where is he from? The O, baby. DeForest Buckner, where's he from? The O. I don't really have too many guys that I can be proud of, coming from, my favorite team, the Oregon Ducks. But on defense, those guys are monsters, and I know they're going to be sad to be leaving each other, but it's a new chapter for Eric Armstead to do something, not with his bro, DeForest Buckner, but also it helps DeForest Buckner show what he can bring, even that expensive contract, $21 million. No one else is paid higher at the D tackle besides Aaron Donald, but I think that it could work out for the Colts. I like it, personally. Cowboys tight end Blake Jarwin agree on a 4-year contract, so it gives him another athletic body. We've seen him be able to make some plays and score some touchdowns last year, so that's good there with Dak Prescott. Now you just got to get Amari Cooper taken care of. Falcons land tight end Hayden Hurst in a trade with the Ravens. Austin Hooper out, Hayden Hurst in, and I like it because you already got Mark Andrews there as the number one for Lamar Jackson, Action Jackson, right? New wave. But now with Hayden Hurst gone, that opens up the door for other people to step up, Hollywood Brown, Mark Ingram, and a few others, and that gives the Falcons at least a piece there. So the Falcons losing tight end Austin Hooper move quickly to get another young player, Hayden Hurst, a dual star in baseball and football. The Falcons also get a 2020 fourth-round pick from Baltimore and sending the Ravens a 2020 second-round pick and a 2020 fifth-round pick. So not bad there. I can see why they did that. Former Bills DN Shaq Lawson agrees to a deal with the Dolphins. That's a good deal, I feel. That will help them give some extra, depth on the roster. Raiders linebacker Nick Kwiatkowski reach a 3-year deal. And then we have the Marcus Mariota with the Raiders signing. So I like that. So you can move on from Derek Carr and get someone that you can actually have some stability with. Buccaneers, like games, and playing like 12, 13 games, getting me like 10 sacks. A guy that can get me double-digit sacks, you got to realize for a shitty team like the Buccaneers, the only guy that got double-digit sacks was Simeon Rice. And how long ago was that? Years ago. So to get two guys that I feel that can get me 9.5, 10 sacks or more, double digits, is huge moving forward. Now I got to see if I can clean it up with Tom Brady as they have the Bucs obviously on TV on NFL Network now. But I'm thrilled that I got JPP back, and that's big facts. Vikings agree to a 3-year extension with punter Britton Colquitt. Good move for them. 49ers trade defensive tackle DeForest Buckner for the Colts for a first-round pick. So it's kind of crazy. So you see Calais Campbell going for like a 5th-rounder, and he's a Pro Bowler, right? DeForest Buckner has that Pro Bowl kind of talent, all-pro talent, and then they get a first-rounder for him. So you just never know with the NFL. Depends on how old you are, how many years you've been in the league, how much money you're going to be making. There's a lot of different processes that are involved. But, Calais Campbell definitely worth more than a 5th-rounder. For me, he's a 2nd or 3rd round type of exchange, but you just never know, if you end up, swindling out that other team, if that's what they're going to accept for him. Well, fucking A. I mean, I guess you end up getting a nice value, and then the other team ends up getting a shitty 5th-rounder. So we'll have to wait there. The Colts traded their first-round pick, 13th overall, to the Niners for all-pro defensive tackle DeForest Buckner. Buckner has already agreed to a massive $21 million deal, second highest D tackle in the NFL, and history behind Aaron Donald. And I saw a lot of Niners comment there, CeeDee Lamb, CeeDee Lamb, CeeDee Lamb. I could see CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy, them looking at that, but I know you got D Ford, and then you have Eric Armstead, and you have Nick Bosa, but you probably want to pick up someone on that D line to replace Buckner. Not necessarily just to get another wide receiver, but if CeeDee Lamb is sitting there, I definitely could see why you would want a CeeDee Lamb, on the opposite side of, Deebo Samuel and the rest of the pieces they have, because they do need a true number one receiver of a Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb. But we'll have to kind of wait and see, because I do love, Shanahan and Kyle, what he brings. So if you can end up getting a CeeDee Lamb there, if that's the route that they go, if he's still available, can you imagine what the Niners are going to be able to come up with packages with an amazing talent like that? I mean, the NFC West with wide receivers is just going to be crazy. Redskins re-signing linebacker John Bostic, 2-year, $5 million deal. I like it. Browns agree to terms, a 3-year pact with right tackle Jack Conklin. I had him in my top 15 out of all the people that were available. in the tackle position. There wasn't really a whole lot of tackles that were going to be available that I felt that were top tier in free agency. You got to keep Ryan Tannehill. You got Derrick Henry with the franchise tag. So Jack Conklin agrees to a 3-year deal with the Cleveland Browns for $42 million, $30 million fully guaranteed. I knew that they weren't going to be able to keep everyone there, but it's nice to be able to see him get paid. We'll have to see if he can help keep Baker Mayfield upright. Lions agreed to terms with offensive tackle Vaitai. So with him, he got paid. I don't think the Eagles fans are going to miss him. At times he played great. Sometimes he played poorly. So the Lions, I feel, overpaid for a player like that. But, hey, that's up to them if they want to spend their money that way. And a lot of Eagles fans said, you know what? We're not going to really miss him. We'll be able to upgrade and get someone better, and that's what I felt. Browns agreed to terms of the deal with quarterback Case Keenum, 3-year, $18 million deal, $10 million guaranteed. He's a backup. I don't see him anything other than a backup. So it is what it is. Saints reach an agreement with David Onyemata, so we'll see where that goes. Saints have made their first big move in free agency, and they don't have a whole lot of money to work with. Agreeing to a deal that'll keep defensive tackle in Nolans, a source confirmed to ESPN. He's 27, big reason for the resurgence in the run defense, which led the NFL over a 2-year span in 2018 and 19, allowing just 85.8 rushing yards per game. He also has enough athleticism for his size to get to the pass rush, combined 9.5 sacks over 3 seasons. So not a guy that's going to get a bunch of sacks, 3 or 4 a year, but the Saints will definitely take that. Broncos, Graham Glasgow agrees to terms on a 4-year deal. Titans re-signing Dennis Kelly, offensive tackle to a 3-year deal, a little bit lower name guys. Redskins will land former Falcons guard Wes Schweitzer, another lower name player. Giants poised to sign cornerback James Bradbury. We obviously know of that, formerly of the Carolina Panthers. Dolphins make a splash by getting Byron Jones. Who? Byron Jones. So now you got him and Xavier Howard. Next up will obviously be Chris Harris. Falcons cutting quarterback Desmond Trufant, that, and Devontae Freeman. So it's interesting they're trying to cut a lot of the money, but, how good are the Falcons anyways? What place are they going to be in? They might be at the bottom of the barrel in the NFC South, and typically that's where Tampa lives, at the bottom of the barrel. So I'm really interested to see what they do there moving forward. Ravens reach a 3-year deal, $30 million, with Michael Brockers, which was kind of exciting. So that gives the Ravens another key piece, Ozzie Newsome was one of those guys that would always know how to pick up key pieces, here and there. But they really have a good wit about them on how to be able to get the most out of their talent. The Bills got Stephon Diggs. That just happened. I know there was a rumor that Diggs was not happy and that they were looking to move him. So if that is Sarah Small, if that's legitimate, I imagine it'll be on NFL Network here on my screen here shortly. But Michael Brockers, 3-year deal, $30 million with the Ravens. Seattle gives tight end Jacob Hollister a second-round tender. Bears get Jimmy Graham, 2-year deal, $16 million. He's kind of old. I don't really think that he's got anything left, $9 million guaranteed. So with Jimmy Graham, I'm not sure if I really like that for the Bears. You wanted to get someone better than Trey Burton, but Jimmy Graham really hasn't been anything since Nolans, since he was on the Saints. He went to Seattle, went to Green Bay. He's been kind of a journeyman. I don't really know if they have a whole lot to give after that. A good one, though, former Steelers tackle on the defensive end, Javon Hargrave, headed to the Eagles. I love that. Him and Fletcher Cox going to be able to dominate. 3 years, $39 million, $26 million guaranteed. Javon Hargrave should be a monster for the Eagles. I like that. Dolphins spend some more money and get Kyle Van Noy. I love that. Formerly of the New England Patriots, a smart kid, a guy that knows where to go, has got good athleticism. So we're going to see how he does on the Dolphins. They're starting to get their pieces. I'm telling you, the Dolphins are slowly but surely in the next 2 to 3 years will start to build a nice roster. And eventually I think they'll be able to get a wild card. I really like what they have to offer. Sean Coleman headed back to the 49ers, offensive tackle. Eric Murray reaches a 3-year deal with the Texans, and then we have some more moves, as I said. So, those are a lot of the moves right there. Mariota, the Raiders, and then we have a few moves. Let's see if we can end up getting this Stephon Diggs, so I can kind of go through all the different moves that have happened. But I'm going to scroll up to the top just to acknowledge everyone, and you guys can comment on any of the moves that we've had. Let's see here, once I actually go to Twitter real quick and to see if there's any other new updates, because I've been on here all day. Like I said, I've pumped out a lot. All right, so here we go. Compensation update. Bills are trading a first-round pick, a fifth-round pick, a sixth-round pick, and a 2021 fourth-round pick for Vikings wide receiver Stephon Diggs and a 2020 seventh-round pick. Wow. Stephon Diggs. The Vikings get a lot in compensation. First-rounder, fifth-rounder, sixth-rounder, and then a fourth-rounder. Wow. That's a lot of compensation for Diggs. I'm not sure if he's worth all that. I mean, the 5th, 6th, and the 4th, you don't really know what you're going to get there. But, I mean, obviously, if he's not happy and he was always, talking shit and he was upset with how things were going, that might be too much for a Diggs, a guy that, he is one of the better wide receivers that's out there. Maybe a top 15 wide receivers, but that kind of seems a little bit too much for me and my liking. But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's why this NFL free agency period is wild. You just never know, who's going to be going where. And I already could tell. I mean, he was already, complaining about Kirk Cousins, taking shots at the team. So now Adam Thielen is going to have to do a lot of it with Kyle Rudolph, Kyle the red zone Rudolph. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. So A.J. Sillman, who's going to be the quarterback for the Bucs? Tom Brady. Sarah Smalls in the building. Colts all day. NB Talk Sports, what it do? Jalen Anthony Brown in the building. DeForest Buckner for Sarah Small. She's excited. Now get Rivers and Cooper for the Colts. I'm not sure if you're going to get Cooper, right? But you can get Rivers. Raiders are signing Mariota. Went over that. That was big for the Las Vegas Raiders. Awful trade for the Texans. Shaq Barrett and JPP on the Bucs. I love that. Lions signed Jamie Collins. So that'll be a good fit there. The Bucs need to get better in the secondary. Damn right, AJ. They're horrible. David Horn's in the building. All these teams making moves, and once again, the Panthers ain't done shit. Boy, this is making me sick. Daniel Duncan. Yeah, and that's the thing. Not every team makes the big splashes, but also you got to see how much cap space that the Panthers have, and they might have a plan. Like they got Spider Burns, in the draft last year, and I love him. Now we just got to see if Cam Newton is the guy that they're going to be moving forward with. No Luke Kuechly. But you still got Christian McCaffrey, and you ended up getting some good production from your wide receivers, in this past season as well. So, with Samuel and DJ Moore. So we'll see where it goes. Sometimes that happens, man, where they don't spend the money. Says the Bucs need to sign Freeman, Devontae Freeman. No thanks. At this point, I don't know what my Panthers are doing. I think we're trying to win no games. Hey, it could be worse, man. You could be the Falcon fan. I mean, that might be the absolute worst. And it used to be, you could be a Buccaneer fan like myself because I didn't really have anything to look forward to ever. Tony Grady in the building, Las Vegas Raiders. Marcus Mariota added to your roster. I know you're excited about that. How do you think Winston will do in the season coming up? I actually think he'll do pretty good. He's still going to throw a shitload of picks. He probably won't throw 30, right? But depending on where he goes, like I said, if he goes to the New England Patriots, right, I think that he could – do some things there. Bill Belichick, if anyone can nail it in his damn brain that you got to hang on to the football, you don't have to be Superman, take the sacks, don't throw stupid picks, throw the ball away, It could be maybe there's only a couple guys. I mean, Bruce Arians couldn't do it. And that they thought that, he's normally a quarterback guru and he can work with almost anybody. But, he did lead the league in passing with 5,000 plus yards, 33 TDs, 30 picks. But I'm telling you what, if he could have just had 12 less picks, if he could have had, 18 to 20, I probably would have made the wild card this year because he had all kinds of 6 or 7 pick sixes, lots of games lost in the fourth quarter, lots of games lost in the last possession with the Buccaneers had the football where all they needed is a field goal or a couple first downs. And Jameis was an idiot and turned the ball over. So we'll see what happens with them. I'm not giving up on Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota's careers just yet. I just think that they needed a change of scenery. Marcus Mariota is going, obviously, to the Raiders. Tony Grady might not think that he's ready yet over Derek Carr. But I think you've already seen what you're going to get from Derek Carr, and you might be able to get a little bit more out of Marcus Mariota if he can stay healthy. And Jameis, you might be able to get those interceptions down. He did have the corrective eye surgery, so maybe that'll help. So instead of him thinking that he had 8 or 9 receivers running down the field with him, he only had 3, but maybe he didn't know that. He's kind of a knucklehead off the field. All kidding aside, I'm rooting for him. I just don't want him on my team. I haven't been in the playoffs since 2007. I've never had a franchise QB. A guy, like myself, Vinny Testaverde. If you look at all the quarterbacks I've had, Chris Sims, Brad Johnson, Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia I liked, formerly of the Niners. He had a nice little run with the Niners and the Browns and the Eagles and the Bucks. But, not a franchise guy at that point in his career. And then we got the number 1 pick, and then obviously that year, Jameis and Mariota, they didn't pan out. Obviously with Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, that was a little bit better at the 2 and the 1, as far as quarterbacks being picked 1 and 2. But it is what it is. I'm ready to move on. My dream scenario would be Trevor Lawrence. Personally, that's who I would want for my Buccaneers. Even more than Tua, even more than Herbert, even more than Burrow. Believe it or not, that would be like my dream scenario, to have a John Elway, Andrew Luck-ish kind of quarterback. I absolutely love Trevor Lawrence. I know he struggled, in the Natty. I know he struggled against LSU, and Burrow looked amazing. But I just think that he's got all the intangibles, the footwork, the confidence. He just seems like he's built for long-term success. Not saying that Herbert, Tua, and Burrow aren't, but he just seems like, to me, he's the guy that you can rely on that could be a perennial Pro Bowler year in and year out. I think he's a great quarterback, and that's just the kind of guy that I like, moving forward. And not saying that Tua, Herbert, and Burrow can't pan out as Pro Bowl quarterbacks, and possibly maybe one of those three being a Hall of Famer, you know what I mean? But it's tough at the quarterback position, and if you don't have an offensive line, it might be a long, long day for Burrow and the Bengals if they go that route, because the offensive line is trash, the defense is trash. A.J. Green, Eifert, Mixon all get hurt every year. I mean, who is he going to throw to? Avoid the Boyd, Tyler Boyd, and then who else? I'm not sure, so we're going to have to see. But Tua going to the Dolphins, or Herbert going to the Dolphins, or Herbert going to the Chargers, and then maybe Tua to the Dolphins. It's starting to look nice. But I wouldn't mind having Tua or Herbert on my Bucks. Don't get me wrong. But if I can get Tom Brady, I'll be cool with that. For like a year or two. It's just a Band-Aid, but I'll take it. Teddy might stay with the Saints, they said, and I hope he stays. I doubt it. I mean, they might be saying that publicly, but I mean, with Drew Brees, Teddy Two Gloves, and Taysom Hill, I just don't know if they're going to be able to have the money. They have no money. Their cap is like bottom 5 out of all the teams in the NFL. I think they're on the 5th lowest with the amount of money on the cap, I believe, based off all the articles I've been reading. So I'm not sure if that's possible. Odin's Child, $10 donation. Thank you so much, brother. You the man. Appreciate you. So we got NFL updates and free agency frenzy 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy for all his hard work. Your boy's grinding 7 reaction videos today and a live stream in one day. I don't know any other YouTubers that be putting in work like that. You can also donate at patreon.com/NWSF or go to the GoFundMe, GoFundMe.com, and type in NW space sports space fanatics and make a donation there for my dream project of bringing a YouTube studio here in my hometown to make other people's dreams come true if they don't have the resources or the equipment. Tony Grady from the Raiders says, I was playing Xbox for the last couple hours, so you telling me was the first time hearing about it. So now you know Marcus Mariota is your new quarterback. Odin's Child, they showed the Rumble for the first 2 hours. That's sad. So obviously, with WWE, I did a thing for WrestleMania. Finally, Vince doesn't give a shit if everyone had coronavirus, including the wrestlers. He wanted it to go on. He didn't care if, they had 60,000 people with corona in there. But if he could sell some merch, sell some T-shirts, sell some beer, he would do it because he wants to make money, right? But now they're moving it from Tampa, and they're going to have WrestleMania now in the Performance Center with no fans. So I don't really know what kind of show that's going to be. I mean, the wrestlers are going to, do their best to put on a good show. But ultimately, the only thing that I can think of is to make it more exciting is if you keep the whole roster that's there and use them as lumberjacks. So if you have all the other guys that have matches that night and you have them surrounding the ring on the outside as lumberjacks for every single match, and you feed off their energy, based on them watching the match and them, reacting to it, then you might have a little bit better of a product, because then you at least have 20 or 30 guys and girls, WWE superstars for the females, the divas, and, the studs, the guys. If you have them surrounding the outside, then you might be able to at least have some kind of energy and vibe. But if it's just like one-on-one, and they just got Michael Cole out there, and then, the King, and just a couple people, Corey Graves. I mean, I don't really know what you're going to be able to see. It's not even really worth watching to me. Like, I watched SmackDown when they didn't have anyone, and Triple H was funny, and, doing camera work and beating up Michael Cole, but, I mean, it was boring. I had to turn it off. It's not the same without the fans, especially for wrestling. It's one thing for baseball, football, and NBA, but especially for wrestling. If you don't have fans for wrestling, it's not even worth watching, period. You think Shaq Barrett and the Bucks will come to an agreement with the contract? They did already. So they ended up giving him the franchise tag, and I think long term, I think that we will. I mean, obviously 19.5 sacks. Normally he had 5.5. Was as high before, but I think he's a guy that we want to keep long term. JPP for 2 years, but I'd love to have Shaq Barrett for the rest of his career. Just to have a guy that proved himself. And if he loves Tampa Bay, I'd love to have him here, to build the defense. It's never going to be Simeon Rice, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, Rondé Barber, John Lynch ever again. But if I can slowly get pieces, JPP, Shaq Barrett, giving me somewhere between 9 to 10 sacks or more, right? Devin White from LSU, Levante David at linebacker. Now I just need to get some corners and safeties to kind of pair up with those studs so I can actually be respectable one day in the NFL. Odin's Child, I have a bad feeling Chiefs are going to trade Stone Cold Jones. They better not. They better not trade Chris Jones. Ruiz in the building with the Rams. I know that Todd Gurley is on the trade market right now, so we'll have to see what kind of value that they can get, and then either Higbee or maybe Everett. Maybe you can get rid of one of those. I'd probably keep Everett, and you can let Higbee go. But Higbee might be on the market. Todd Gurley. I don't know what kind of compensation you're going to be able to get from there. Maybe the Patriots would be interested in a Todd Gurley to see if they can get something out of him. Young Nola's in the building. It's really how well they draft. They definitely will be a wild card contender soon. Big facts. Still overpaid, though, but you have to take what you can. Agreed. I love my Colts. Sarah said, I one of my best friends, Swaggy P, huge Colts fan, and he messaged me today about all the moves. And I said, with the Buckner, it's a lot of money, right? But I don't know if you're going to get a quality player like that. The only other one I could have thought of really was the Derek Brown from Auburn, which is a similar kind of skill set. But even that being said, Buckner's proven. So I would just go that route. I mean, they always have a plan in place, and I haven't seen the Colts make a real bad move in free agency or the draft in a couple years. So they really got it going with Frank Reich. So I trust them. And Quentin Nelson was a great pickup. He could be a Hall of Famer. Darius Leonard could be a Hall of Famer if we can get Malik Hooker on the back end healthy. I like his game. So we'll see where it goes. But the Colts should be contending for playoff spots almost every year, in and out, continuously, as long as they don't have any serious injuries, and they might get Phillip Rivers out of it as well. Trade Brissett, cut Hoyer, and have Chad Kelly back up Rivers. There you go. That's what I was thinking as well. It would be a shocker if J.J. Watt traded from Houston. Well, I don't know how much value J.J. Watt has at this point in his career. He's kind of getting older. He gets kind of injured quite a bit, and he is a staple, with the Houston Texans, so I'm not sure if he's going anywhere. They treat him like they treat Tom Brady in New England. Tony Grady said, I think Derek Carr is leagues ahead of Mariota. Well, I mean, you might say that now, but the thing is if you're actually getting to the playoffs with a wild card with the Raiders in the next 3 years, because I predicted that I think that the Raiders, based on who they've been drafting and, how their organization is built, and with Mike Mayock and Gruden, they should be able to make a wild card within 3 years from going to Vegas. It might not be this first year going to Vegas, but if they can continuously draft well and have good draft like Josh Jacobs, that was a nice pick, at the running back position. That was a player that I would have loved to have on Tampa Bay, a nice solid piece there. There is a chance that Mariota, could end up having better career than Derek Carr. And if you look at Mariota's stats aren't bad. He's got good stats. I mean, if you actually look at his touchdown to interception ratio, he obviously has gotten banged up quite a bit and obviously got benched, so I get it. But for me, not just because I'm wearing his jersey and I'm a Duck guy, but I have faith in him. I think that he could be better than a Derek Carr personally. Paul Haywood, I'm scared my favorite player is leaving us. Diggs, and he did, unfortunately, but you're getting a lot of capital in return, and you got Thielen, you know what I mean, and you'll have to see what you can do with the defense. You still got guys like Everson Griffin, Danielle Hunter, Harrison Smith, so the defense is really what the Vikings are about, as you know, Paul, but, you might be able to get someone on that level, because there's a lot of guys in the draft, there's probably 3 rounds worth of wide receiver. Tess is in the building, the best moderator in the business, appreciate you, love you. Jimmy Graham to the Bears. They needed someone better than Trey Burton, so I knew that there was teams that were going to be looking at Austin Hooper, Redskins, Bears, and obviously when these other teams are, taking these other players and options away, they're left with the scraps. I don't think Jimmy Graham has anything left, and the Bears don't make moves that are typically good, so it's not really a surprise to me that, they fucked up again and got a guy that's too old and overpaid him. So, Sarah Small says, Vikings won the trade. Think so. Jameson Meza, John Robinson, GM of the Titans, doing work for the Titans. Tighten up. I love the Titans and what they're doing. If they could have kept Conklin, they would have went 3 for 3, but they just didn't have enough money to, get the Derrick Henry with the franchise tag. They got Tannehill, which I love, but Conklin would have been a nice piece to keep with Taylor Lewan. But I do like what the Titans are doing, and they will be in the hunt, for the AFC. They might not go to the playoffs every single year, but they should be in the running, either every other year, or they might be able to string together a couple years in a row, with Ryan Tannehill and squad and Derrick Henry. The quarterback's best friend is a strong running game, and they definitely got one. Ryan Schrick says, Chris Jones, please stay. We'll see if that happens. Let's see here. Bills traded a first-round pick, fifth-round pick, sixth-round pick, and a 2021 fourth-round pick for Stephon Diggs and a seventh-round pick. Yeah, definitely they overcompensated for Diggs. I love Diggs, but he's not worth that much. Justin Fields, too, from Ohio State. I like him as well. This offseason is definitely very wild. Paul Haywood is like, shit. He's like, I hate my life. Your best player, your favorite player is gone. But like I said, you might be able to have a new favorite player. Adam Thielen ain't no joke. I love Adam Thielen. And you can end up getting another wide receiver. There's Laviska Shenault. There's Ayuk from Arizona State. I mean, there's some really good pieces that are in this wide receiver draft. And if you're going to lose a wide receiver, what a better year to get one than this year. This might be the best depth at wide receiver I've seen in like 15 years, covering the NFL and the college football scene. So I wouldn't be as worried. I mean, I know Diggs has made a lot of iconic plays for you over the years, but he seemed like he was a guy that was a problem in the locker room. He's always kind of, do you want to be on the Vikings? No. And then winking, you know what I mean? Like, he was just kind of more of a distraction in the locker room. He needed a change of scenery, and I think the Vikings needed to move on from him personally, even though I know that he was your guy. I get it. The Bears don't seem to want Teddy. I don't think so. Like I said, the reports that I was reading is that they're looking at Nick Foles, right? And Andy Dalton, stupid, right? You got three quarterbacks all that kind of suck. Trubisky, horrible. Nick Foles doesn't suck, but he has to be on the right roster, like the Eagles. If you went back to the Eagles, he could succeed. But on other rosters, maybe not so much. And then Andy Dalton, I mean, I would take Andy Dalton on my Buccaneers if I had to go that route over Jameis Winston. Tom Brady over Andy Dalton. But, I mean, how much better is Andy Dalton than some of these other guys? I mean, he's kind of towards the bottom. He's not really a great option at this point in his career. Let's see here. The Patriots don't want to do shit. The thing is they're waiting in the wings, and they are going to make a move. They might get Teddy Two Gloves or Jameis Winston. We're just going to have to see how the pieces fall. They are going to make a move, though. So not going to lie, as a Ram fan, feels weird we ain't doing shit, right? And you got the new logo. I know you're not probably happy about that, Ruiz. New logo looks horrible. It's like when the Chargers had their new logo. It's like, what were the fucking guys in the boardroom thinking? They're like, oh, this looks good. Fuck no, it don't look good. So I just hate it when you end up getting, teams that have new jerseys or new helmets or new logos. It's like, who the fuck is doing the voting? Like, you got to get the fans involved too, and they can let you know, if they think the design is worthy or not. That's what they should be doing instead of having, 8 rich guys in an executive, director boardroom. Yeah, that looks good, and they don't even watch the games half the time. That's my opinion. They should have went to the fans. So, bro, Jimmy Graham and Fitzmagic is like a high school horde just shopped around to all the teams. Yeah, I feel ya. Hope the Panthers can get Chris Harris. I don't know if they're going to be in the running for Chris Harris. Like I said, I think Chris Harris, they're going to be having a few other teams that are going to be looking at him. Let's take a quick look so you can kind of go over it here. Because I know, let me go here and I'll read it to you based off the pieces there. Jamison Mesa, $2.99. Titans taking care of key offensive players. Thank you so much, brother. $2.99. Your boy's grinding, man. You know I am. 7 videos today. 7. Count them out. 7 videos and a live stream. You don't tell me anyone else that puts in this kind of grind. But I love you guys, and I love NFL, so I'm going to be grinding as much as I can. So let me go here, and I can see what I can find here. The Panthers signed defensive end Stephen Weatherly. Probably not the pickup that the fans are really looking for. Let me just keep going here, and I can hopefully get to the point where it shows me the information. So just give me 1 second, because obviously there's so many moves today with everything. Diggs, it says it's time for a new beginning. That was at 11:46 a.m., so you already knew that he was going to be on the move. And then he said, nah, this ain't one of them times, champ. Something's going to happen. Taking a shot at Kirk Cousins. So you already knew, if he's already talking shit on Twitter, that he was already going to be on the outs. Let's see here. Getting closer. I'm getting closer. So many things. All right, here we go. So the teams that are in the running right now, unfortunately, it's not the Panthers, unless they make a splash as like a surprise team. But the main ones right now are Cowboys, are leading in the pack, the Bills, the Jets, and the Raiders. Those are the 4 teams right now, based off the sources that are close to the roster. That's what, and his agent, that's what they're kind of looking at. Cowboys, Bills, Jets, and Raiders. No sign of the Panthers there. I would take a Chris Harris on my Buccaneers. I wish I could get someone like that. Tess says, share the channel, subscribe to it, make a donation, support your boy, all the hard work that I did today. 7 reaction videos. It's not easy. Let's see here, especially since you lost Bradbury. Yes, James Bradbury was a key loss. Very true. I agree. We kept Dennis Kelly at half price of Jack Conklin. Diggs to Buffalo. Legend Killer. WrestleMania is in the Performance Center with no crowd. I thought of that too, but that was a joke. They can't do that. It's like the Super Bowl with the no crowd. No crowd makes the show. And the thing is like I don't think people really realize it took a virus like coronavirus to really realize like how greedy people are. It shows your true colors. You know what I mean? When you're getting 20 racks of toilet paper and you're not thinking of the elderly or the disabled or people that have newborns. Everyone just starts freaking out. But also in based off money like Vince, I'll tell you what, Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit about AEW or anyone else. He cares about money. And if he wouldn't even care if it wasn't publicly traded with the stocks and all the stockholders and the trade holders of WWE, he would probably let the show go with the fans. He would care less, but he knows that he'll get sued if those people get sick if they go to WrestleMania and bring in 60,000 people when you're getting, states and counties that don't want 250 people together, 25 people together, and you're bringing in 60 to 80,000 people together, drinking beer, buying T-shirts, and there's a lot of money to be made at WrestleMania. I mean, that's one of their big money makers. WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, Money in the Bank. I mean, there's some big ones. They usually have the top 4, and WrestleMania is the biggest one. It's a Super Bowl for them. And, I don't give a fuck. I can just see Vince in the room. Fuck Shane. Fuck Stephanie. I need this money. You know what I mean? But when you're publicly traded, you don't want to get sued because then you're just going to lose all the profits. And I can't see the show even really going on, and they're going to do it, for the wrestlers so that way they don't get upset, right? But as far as the fans are concerned, how good of a WrestleMania is it going to be with no fans? I watched that SmackDown last week. I turned it off halfway through. It was fucking horrible with no fans cheering. You know what I mean? The only thing that they can make WrestleMania somewhat enjoyable for me is if they end up having all the wrestlers, female and male superstars, lumberjack on the outside of the ring for every single match. If you do that and they watch it as a spectator and as a fan and they're cheering, they're throwing the wrestlers back in the ring and they get involved and then you have like 30 or 40 people that are there, at that point, then you can at least have something where you can feel a vibe and you can feel the energy instead of the 60,000. At least you have 30 rather than just one-on-one. You know what I mean? 2-on-2. That's going to be hella boring. I'm not going to be able to watch it. And I always watch WrestleMania. I've watched every single one, but this might be the first year where maybe I watch it, maybe I don't. Maybe I watch it but not live. I don't know. I'm such a fan. I want to watch it, but I just have this feeling it's going to be absolutely horrible. But that would be a great piece of suggestion or advice. Lumberjacks. You do that, that's going to get people more involved and watching it. That's my personal opinion. That's my $1 million idea. Vince, are you listening? Telling you. That'll at least keep the fans engaged a little bit more. Diggs to Buffalo. Costanzo getting back him was huge. I agree. I love his game. Let's see here. I need to update saying Chris Jones has reached a long-term agreement with the Chiefs soon. I know, right? I'm not sure if you're going to get it anytime soon, though. It seems like, they just got it franchise tag, but I don't really know when you're going to get a deal. Non-exclusive franchise tag. Calvin Griffin in the building. What to do, my guy? Sorry it took so long for me to acknowledge. Just going through all the comments here. 4340, welcome to the Chiefs. Let's see here. Foles can't play animals in the locker room. You don't want a guy that thinks he's bigger than the team, do you? You know what I mean? Paul, I know you, man, because like I said, Paul, you've been one of those guys that have been watching our videos, Vikings videos and reaction videos since like the very, very beginning, because I remember your name. I remember you, right? And I know it hurts, right? But you don't want to have a distraction in the locker room. Yeah, there's a talent. It's like Antonio Brown. You got a guy that was the best wide receiver in the game for like 5-6 years in a row, right? But then you saw the distractions that he was having, and it's really hard to be able to keep someone in there that they think with their ego that they're so much bigger and better than everyone else. And I don't really necessarily think Thielen is in the decline personally. And if you can pair him up with another wide receiver, personally, I like Thielen better on a game-to-game basis. If they're both healthy, Diggs and Thielen, Diggs might be able to get you that long ball, but Thielen's the consistent guy that gets you the big first downs, the big catches on third down, more methodical, better route runner. I like Diggs' route running as well. They're both great, you know what I mean? But I like Thielen's hands. I think Thielen has better hands than Diggs. So I know it hurts now, but you might be able to get a nice one to pair up with them. I mean, this draft has got a lot of them. There's like 15. Like I told you, I do all the research. There's 15 guys between the first, second, and third round that you could pick up that could develop into starting caliber wide receivers in this league. Let's see here. Tess says the Rams' new logo is trash. Agreed. How do I feel about the Dolphins' moves? I love them. I like what they're doing. You got Xavier Howard, now you got Byron Jones. I like what the Dolphins are doing. And then if they end up picking, they have so many picks in these next 3 years. It's insane. First, second, fourth round picks. They just got picks on picks on picks. So I really like what the Dolphins are doing. And I think that, you can go Tua, you can go Justin Herbert, you can go Dobbins, you can go Jonathan Taylor. They're going to get a starting running back and quarterback. And then you're going to look at that Dolphins roster after the draft and the free agency, and you're like, damn. These guys are getting closer. And then next year, if they do it again, then you'd be like, okay, they're getting closer. And then the Jets will fall back, right? The Patriots, depending on who they have at quarterback, will slightly fall back. And then it'll be a race between the Bills, the Patriots, right? And I feel the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins and the Bills, the Dolphins have a few years to go. But the Bills, as you saw on how they build with Tre'Davious White, and they started getting certain picks, Josh Allen, year in, year out, they just started to build. And now the Bills, even though they got inconsistent play from Josh Allen, they're getting closer. They almost had a chance to beat New England and Tom Brady. They almost won the AFC East. It's not going to be too long before they do, and then the Dolphins might be able to, at some point in the next 3 to 4 years, be a wild card team. You know what I mean? I really do like what the Dolphins are doing. Sometimes being a shitty team for a long time. If you got Flores, who's formerly of New England, right? So if you got the right, DC, OC, offensive line coach, GM, you know what I mean? Look what the Colts did prior, with who they had in charge. And then now within the last few years, I mean, they're hitting on their picks. Darius Leonard and Quentin Nelson, are you kidding me? You got two guys that could be Hall of Famers when it's all said and done, just in a couple years. I mean, so a lot can change in a couple years in a franchise. So I really do love what the Dolphins are doing so far. We'll have to see if they can continue to hit on the picks, because they're going to have to hit on 70% of the picks in this draft, next draft, and then the following draft to really, make a name for themselves. But it might be sooner than later. You might be surprised. The Miami Dolphins, big facts. Chris Harris, the Cowboys want him. Yeah, a lot of teams want Chris Harris. Let's see here. And I appreciate the $2.99, Jameson Meza. I think this might be your first donation to the channel, because I usually remember the people that donate to the channel. And if that's the first one for you, hopefully it's not the last one. Hopefully I've earned your respect. And like I said, this is a tough job to do. I went to the temp agency today. I got an interview tomorrow, so I should be working a warehouse job probably on Wednesday. But I'm still going to be able to try to pump out as many videos as I can, depending on when I get off work, on top of the live streams. But any type of donation that you can give, you have to realize anytime I do reaction videos that have highlights to them, right, all the hard work that I did today, we don't get any money of any kind. We don't get any monetization. We don't get any type of benefit besides subs and views. And even though YouTube isn't really pushing us on our channel, so any type of donation that we can get on a live stream, whether that you appreciate what I'm doing here or you appreciate all the hard work and the 7 videos that I did earlier today, it would really mean a lot. Any type of donation counts. This job is not easy, but I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of people that would put in the effort, the time, and the grind like myself. I did tell Marcus that I was going to be recording and doing the live stream at 7. He's working from home now because of the coronavirus, and the main headquarters was in Chicago, and they decided to have everyone at that Verizon work from home. So I mean, I hope at some point that he decides, even if it's later, that he can come through. But it's up to him. You know what I mean? I'm still going to grind. You know what I mean? So I'm going to still get the videos out there and pump them out. It's been a long day, but I absolutely love the NFL, and that's big facts. But thank you so much. Jameson Meza, $2.99. Odin's Child, $10. Who will be next to donate to your boy and show some love for all the hard work that I've been pumping out. You know what I mean? It's not easy. And I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys for all the support that you guys have been giving me. Chris Harris wants to be a Chief? I bet he does. Well, you got Tyrann Mathieu trying to recruit him, so why wouldn't you, right? Amari Cooper staying in Dallas. Well, he should. That's the best fit for him. Amari Cooper. I mean, the only other spot that I could see that he could really succeed is Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. But obviously we heard rumors of Odell Beckham to Green Bay. Green Bay could definitely go for a wide receiver to get someone on the other side, right, of Devontae Adams. Same thing goes for the Saints, someone on the other side of Michael Thomas. Ayuk, a guy from Arizona State no one's really talking about. He might be the sleeper in the draft. Everyone's talking about Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Higgins from Clemson, right? Justin Jefferson from LSU, but Ayuk, the next one, he's probably like the 5th rated, but he might end up being the third best. He could be possibly better than Jefferson or Higgins. There's a chance, depending on if he gets enough playing time and where he goes on the opposite side, because he's real physical, like a CeeDee Lamb. So we'll see what happens. But I've been doing a lot of research on a lot of the guys, through the first 3 rounds, and that's big facts. 5 years, $100 million. Amari Cooper back to Dallas. So is that a done deal? Let's take a look here. So, I imagine that was right here. So Amari Cooper, let's go through the details here. So I figured that's what it was going to be, and I appreciate you guys letting me know here, because obviously, as you know, I'm grinding on here. So 5 years, $100 million, right? So that obviously means that they don't have to go for another wide receiver. You already got Michael Gallup there. You got Jarwin at tight end. You got Dak in the building. So everything is looking good. The only piece, the casualty, was Byron Jones. But the thing is that you can go for C.J. Henderson, right, from the Florida Gators. He's nice. He's one of the best corners, right? So they could go that route. Okudah is going to be drafted probably within the first, 5 picks. The most that he could slide is probably 7 or 8. But besides him, those are the top 2 corners. Okudah, right, from The Ohio State University, and then Henderson from the Florida Gators, who's nice. Amari did get the paper. What do I think about Cam Newton? I'm rooting for him. Briar Raya. Is it Breer or Briar? Raya. But I'm rooting for him, you know what I mean? Even though I'm a Bucs fan, and I follow the Saints and the Falcons and the Panthers very closely as just a fan of the game. And I'm kind of rooting for him. I saw him throw the football around in a few Twitter videos. There was rumors that maybe, that the Bears could be a good fit for Cam Newton. But based off the Luke Kuechly retirement, you almost can't afford to have Cam Newton go anywhere else. You know what I mean? Because obviously, who else are you going to throw in at quarterback at this point? If you let Cam Newton go, then what, Teddy Two Gloves? Teddy Bridgewater? But I haven't heard anything of that nature, but I am rooting for him. Camden Kerr, I'm happy the Panthers are in a great place in the draft. I'm not sure I would rather have between Brown, Simmons, or Okudah. Yeah, Derek Brown, if that's what you're talking about, is great, at that D-tackle position. Isaiah Simmons, Okudah. It depends on what position that you need. Okudah is the best corner. Isaiah Simmons is the best linebacker. And then Brown is one of the better D-tackles or inside players, right, besides Chase Young. So if it was me, Chase Young's better than Brown, but Brown could still be a monster. Isaiah Simmons would probably make the most sense because you don't have Luke Kuechly. So what a better person to replace Luke Kuechly than Isaiah Simmons, who could be a Luke Kuechly 2.0. He's that good. I did a reaction video, Camden, of Isaiah Simmons. So if you haven't seen his tape, which I know you probably have, but if you go to my reaction video and you actually watch his tape, I haven't seen too many guys that have the missile-like ability, the burst like him. And you already got Spider Burns. So you boy, I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, but I follow all the teams. So you know what I'm saying is legit. But Spider Burns, Brian Burns is a stud from Florida State. You end up getting Isaiah Simmons right in the middle. You're good. Luke Kuechly, who? You miss him. Hall of Famer. So sad for a guy like Luke Kuechly to leave early. Probably worried about CTE and whatnot. But not a better fit than to have a guy like that, because that's the piece that you need. You know what I'm saying? And imagine if Luke Kuechly was still there, him and Simmons or Okudah on the outside. But I'm going Simmons if he's available. But the problem is Simmons is going to go very high in the draft. So I'm not sure if you're going to have to trade up or what you're going to have to look at. But that's my personal opinion because I've been following a lot of these guys. Camden 100% Simmons. He is. He can play anywhere. Ryan Schrick, he'll let you know. See, they know, and I know. We do our due diligence. We're hardcore. We're Northwest Sports Fanatics. This is the Fanatic family. We really do our research. We love our NFL and college football. Best route runner in the draft will go late as a steal because he's injured. Van Jefferson from UF. His routes are smooth. Well, you are a Florida fan, Schrick, so of course you're going to be a little biased, but you watch your team very closely, so you know what you're talking about. I do like Henderson, though. Do you like? You got to love Henderson if you're a Gator fan. He's a nice piece. I really want to see what team he goes to and the impact that he has. With Bradbury gone, we could also use Okudah. I'm not sure. Right, but who's more important, right? With the Bradbury loss or the Luke Kuechly loss? Which is more an impact on your team? Luke Kuechly being gone or Bradbury being gone? Luke Kuechly. So you need to replace that position. That is a must. Okudah is nice. He's the best corner. He could be like a Stephon Gilmore, but Isaiah Simmons, if you watch his tape, it'll make up your mind for you. Trust me. Van Jefferson would definitely be a steal, but he's not the best route runner in the draft. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's other guys that are smooth that are route running. Jerry Jeudy's great at route running. CeeDee Lamb is great at route running. I mean, those are the top guys. I mean, if you watch them. Amari Cooper staying in Dallas. Dak's being ridiculous for declining to $35 million. He's not Patrick Mahomes, agreed, but Patrick Mahomes, Shrick, as you know, as a Chiefs fan, could get $40 to $50 million a year. All right, but this is Dak's payday. This is his time, and you got to think he was like a third, fourth rounder. It's not like he was the first pick in the draft. So I mean, at some point he wants to get paid, and if they want to keep franchise tagging him, eventually the dollar amount is going to keep going up and up and up, and then the salary cap is going to go up and up and up, and then you're able to kind of overpay sometimes for some of these guys. But if I was the Cowboys too, I mean, if you weren't really sure about Dak Prescott's long-term future, what about Jalen Hurts? Get him for insurance. So then if Dak decides to go somewhere else or you don't want to pay him, then you got a guy that's, a similar level to Dak. I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts could be better than Dak, but there's some similarities in Jalen Hurts' game and Dak Prescott's game. So it would be a nice kind of mirrored almost image of themselves, Dak 2.0. Let's see here. When is the Eagles going to get a wide receiver or a corner? Bird gang. Gang. That's a good question. The pick to me that would make the most sense is Ruggs. You know what I mean? Have him on the other side of Alshon, Dallas Goedert, right? So bad it hurts Zach Ertz and Mr. Walk It To Him, Carson Wentz. That would be the most impact that you would be able to have. Deshaun Jackson, with all the crew there. But obviously corner is going to be important. Chris Harris, I mean, that's the best case scenario for you. Chris Harris Jr. going to the Eagles, and then you getting Ruggs in the draft and trading up. That's the best case scenario. But realistically, Chris Harris is probably not going to go to the Eagles, right? But if you can get Ruggs, you'd be looking nice because that's going to be like the cheetah in the NFC, right? You got Tyreek the Freak Hill, the cheetah in the AFC. Then you got Ruggs would be the cheetah in the NFC. And he'd look good in the Eagle uniform, and that's big facts. Howie Roseman needs to get busy or he's going to get absolutely nailed in the draft this year. And I know you were disappointed. Carter, I talked to you earlier today. I know you were disappointed on some of the moves and how some of the things are going for the Eagles. They'll be okay. They got a nice roster. A lot of the teams are looking up at them. People, the Cowboys, the Redskins, and the Giants typically are looking up at the Eagles even after the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't really be worrying too much. Amari Cooper intends to re-sign with the Cowboys, 5-year, $100 million deal. That's a big money. Bird Gang says Ruggs, like I mentioned. Ayuk will be a sleeper. Ayuk is going to be a sleeper because, like I said, it's always that fifth or sixth wide receiver. Physical, I've read a couple different articles. I've watched tape. I've seen some interviews. He's a cool kid. He's a very calm, cool, collected guy, and he's physical after the catch. And that would work really great for teams like the Saints, on a guy on the opposite side of Michael Thomas, a guy on the Packers, opposite of Devontae Adams. It's going to be able to give them those extra yak yards, someone better than like a Golden Tate, someone that's physical, that's got good hands and good speed. But I think Ayuk could be one of the sleepers in the draft at the wide receiver position, and that's big facts. Let's see here. Six Inc. in the building. Such a bad day for the Saints. No Collins. No more Klein. Yeah, and they didn't have a whole lot of money to spend, so it's tough. You know what I mean? If they had a little bit more cap, they'd be able to make some moves. So if we get Simmons, he's going to have to get bigger, but him getting bigger can mess up his speed. Well, they always say that, too, in the NBA. Oh, if you're going to get bigger, it's going to mess up your game. They said the same shit about Kevin Durant and what happened with Kevin Durant. He just kept getting better and better and better. So you could be a little skinnier and you could have a little bit of muscle, but, I mean, once you go to the NFL, weight room and the NFL, diet regimen, same thing with the NBA, I ain't worried about it. Isaiah Simmons is a stud. This is one of the best players I've seen, and you got to think, he ran such a 4.39 40, right? He did this. This is one of the fastest times at linebacker in 14 years. So we're talking a sideline to sideline speed. So we're talking like Luke Kuechly, Brian Urlacher, chasing guys down from sideline to sideline. You don't really see a lot of guys that have that Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Luke Kuechly ability. You know what I mean? That shit is not common in the NFL game. So I think they'll be just fine.
The Cowboys took their quarterback off the market today, though we never thought that he was really going to hit the.
Let's see here. Lenny D in the building. Texans are stupid. Yeah, you know they are.
Exclusive tag, so that means that they don't have the tag available for.
Let's see here.
What does that mean?
Dak Bortles ain't worth $35 million. Alshon is gone. Bye-bye, he says. Lenny D in the building. There's only one cheetah, and it definitely isn't a dude whose last name is Ruggs. Hey, but Ruggs' speed is no joke. Come on, Shrick. You watch the combine, right? He is nice, and he's got good hands. You know what I mean? He can really develop because a lot of people question, You know, Tyreek the Freak Hill, he's just special teams guy, and he really worked hard to do the route running, you know, going to the peak of the football with his jumping ability. I'm excited, very much. 16 people viewing, should be 16 thumbs up. Yeah, and I always have these haters, you know what I mean? I already know who they are. You always have that one person where, you know, I'm grinding and almost all the videos are going to be entertaining and educational. You're going to learn something new. I got a good tonality about my voice. It's never bland or never boring, but you always end up getting that one hater that always thumbs down the video, and they not only do one video, but they do all my videos, right? So it's just, you know, you're going to always have those people that are jealous or that are hating. It's kind of comical to me, but no matter what, I'm always going to put out a good product, and I appreciate every single skip. Maybe it could be. I mean, I did give him a second chance and a third chance, you know, but it's always the same one because they always go down every video I do. And typically there's only like 1 or 2 thumbs down, or they'll, like, obviously with the DeForest Buckner, some Niner fans probably were upset, you know, with the move and, you know, thumb down the video. But don't thumb down the DeForest Buckner news. You know, you're thumbing down my video. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But I appreciate every single one of y'all. NFL updates in Free Agency Frenzy 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. 7 videos plus a live stream. You know, it's a tough job, man. Odin's Child, $10. Jameson Meza with his first donation ever to the channel. Thank you. $2.99. You can also go to patreon.com/NWSF. And you can go to GoFundMe.com, type in NW space Sports Space Fanatics to look at the GoFundMe that I set up for my dream. My dream to be able to open up a YouTube studio here in my hometown so content creators can make their dreams come true instead of maybe drinking, drugs, gangs, and having, you know, not the ability to afford equipment, you know, and having a positive place in my community to give back. That's the ultimate goal. But I appreciate all you guys very, very much. And like I said, today has been a big grind. You know, with all the moves. I mean, this has been one of the most exciting days in NFL. And thank God, right, guys? Right, girls? I mean, as far as, like, news is concerned with this damn coronavirus and everything that's been going on, isn't it kind of exciting and nice that we actually have something that we can talk about that's fun? You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where NBA's down, MLB's down, UFC's down, or should be, WWE, AEW, everything is down, soccer, everything. So, you know, it's perfect timing after the Super Bowl that we at least have something that can keep us entertained. And like I said, it's exciting with all these moves, with everything that's going on. Looking at the comments here, Eric Robinson said, I beg to disagree. That SmackDown was actually entertaining. Well, obviously you're not a big fan of wrestling. If you watched WrestleMania, right, or any other pay-per-view with no fans, that SmackDown was brutal. Come on, man. Smitty, Werbin, Jaegerman, Jensen, $14.99. Let's go. You know what I mean? As far as the donations are concerned and the love, thank you so much. Even if you don't know what happens to your hands, be sure to wash them. Thank you so much, Smitty. You know what I mean? Because the thing is like a $1 donation, $2 donation, you know, those are so greatly appreciated. But when you get these big ones that are 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100, you know, it makes all that hard work and all that energy that I put in, you know, all worth it. Oh, Dan Gooding, $10 donation. Klein, an underrated loss for the NO. Thank you so much. Who will be next to donate to your boy? And you know, with all the hard work that I put in, you can do it based off the conversations that we have here on the live stream or the 7 videos that I did earlier today. You can't tell me that, you know, I don't have the dedication, the passion, the energy, and the love back for you guys. I mean, I don't think there's anyone else that has ever done 7 fucking videos in one day and a live stream that's going to be probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. So Dan Gooding, Smitty, Werbin, man, Jaegerman, Jensen, number 1, Jameson, Meza, Odin's Child, thank you so fucking much. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the fucking best. And I'll just go over some of the videos that I went over earlier today. So earlier this morning, I mean, it's been busy. I've been grinding as much as possible. So I did NFL top 5 riskiest free agents going into the 2020 regular season a couple days ago. NFL top 15 free agents available as we go in to free agency. Then I did the Calais Campbell. Traded to the Ravens, Ryan Tannehill, obviously yesterday, you know, signing the 4-year, $118 million deal. And then today, this morning, breaking news, Dak Prescott, franchise tag, Austin Hooper to the Browns. DeAndre Hopkins traded to the Cardinals for David Johnson. Eric Armstead agreed to the 5-year mega deal. DeForest Buckner to the Colts. Byron Jones to the Dolphins. Breaking news about WrestleMania 36. And then obviously this live stream. So, I mean, it's one of those things, it is my dream. That's my passion, but I always love interacting with you guys very much because, I mean, this is what it's about. We don't have a whole lot to work with, right? We don't have a whole lot to work with as far as news, but this is awesome. I mean, we're seeing so many things. Cardinals place transition tag for running back Kenyon Drake. Titans placed the tag on Derrick Henry. Falcons released Devontae Freeman. Do you want Devontae Freeman? Not me. You know what I mean? I think when he's healthy, he was one of the, top 8 running backs in the league. There was at one point, Devontae Freeman could be considered a top 5 or 6 running back when healthy a few years ago, right? But it seems like he's on the decline, and he can't stay healthy. So I don't really want him personally. But, the Calais Campbell was a robbery, especially when you're seeing the deal for Buckner, and you're looking at 5th rounder for, and not only a man of the year candidate, so he's a great guy off the field, right? But he's like a Pro Bowl stud when he was on the Cardinals, anywhere that he's been the Jags. Now he's going to be going to a better defense collectively with the Ravens. Unbelievable. 5th round, at least get like a 2nd or 3rd round, so at least they can feel kind of good about it, right? What are the Jags doing? I mean, I know the Jags have a lot of capital as well, but they couldn't have negotiated for a little bit more. I mean, at least like a 3rd. I mean, even if it was a 4th rounder, we still would be complaining like a 5th rounder, right? But at least a 2nd or 3rd rounder. I know he's a little bit older, but I mean, he's a perennial All-Pro, Pro Bowl player. He got 31 and a half sacks, I believe, in the last 3 years, like about 10 a year. That's worth only 5th round? I don't know. I guess whoever's negotiating for them isn't doing a goddamn good job. You know what I mean? Who do they got besides Fournette? I mean, they used to have Barry Church, Bouye, Jalen Ramsey, Calais Camp. I mean, they got Yannick Ngakoue. That's the only guy they got left, and he don't even want to be there. He said, "Get me out of here. I want to be fucking traded," right? And then you got Fournette, and then you got Minshew Mania, Gardner Minshew, right? But you don't got a whole lot. Oh, but you got DJ Shark. DJ Shark, he's nice from LSU. Yeah, so see, Calvin Griffin knows. See, like I said, there's a few pieces there that aren't too bad. Shark, I like. He really blew up last season. I mean, if you play fantasy football, like me and a lot of y'all do, So there's some pieces there, but as far as the defense is concerned, that shit got blown the fuck up. And that's big facts. So NFL updates in free agency frenzy 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, just like Odin's Child did, Jameson, Meza did, Smitty, Werbin, Jaegerman, Jensen, number 1. Thank you so much. And let's not forget about Dan Gooding. Thank you so much, man. You guys are the fucking best. Right? Remember? I'm a genius at fantasy. I mean, if anyone knows, I can start charging $10 a month if you want to end up winning your fantasy league or at least getting to the championship game. I do a lot of due diligence, just like I do for the live streams and the reaction videos. And Shrick, I helped you out, right? And there was a lot of people I helped draft for, or I drafted their teams. And remember, I told you, get them early, and then you ended up getting them, and then boom. You know what I mean? Certain guys you pick up early, that could be the difference of you making the playoffs and being like a 4 seed, 3, 2, or 1 going into the fantasy football playoffs, or not. I mean, especially fantasy football is going to be crazy, not next year, but the year after, once we go into a 17-week season with only 3 preseason games and go on that route. With weed is now okay, so now Josh Gordon is like, fuck, what about me, right? He's like, what about me? This was a little bit too late for me, after he got suspended so many times, right? And then obviously going to the 7-team playoff on each side instead of the 6. So if you saw the formula, it's going to give that bottom team, like the Buccaneers, or maybe it was like the Rams this last year, where they were just on the outside looking in. So the number 1 seeds in the AFC and the NFC, I think Niners and Chiefs would have had the bye. And then you have 2, 2, 2. You have those matchups there. So that could be kind of exciting. And the thing is, if you think about it, if you end up having 14 teams, I don't think that's too much. Because with 14 teams, how many teams are in the NFL? 32. So you got more than half that aren't getting in. So I kind of like it. You know what I mean? 14 isn't too bad to me. You know, it gives a little bit more excitement for, you know, some of the teams that are just on the borderline. Like if you hit 9-7 or 10-6, and there's a lot of other teams at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 wins, and you're like, fuck, I hit 10 wins and I didn't make the playoffs. With this new system, now you'll be able to try to get in and, you know, make some damage. And you never know, it might be that 7 seed that could get to the AFC Championship game or NFC Championship game. You never know. So I kind of like that, you know, to go to that aspect of it. But the 17 games, though, that's going to be really rough for the players, you know, keeping their bodies healthy. And if we're only doing 3 preseason games instead of 4 or 5, what that's going to mean, though, is if these players aren't in shape in summer, you're going to have a lot more ACL, MCL, Achilles, and, you know, serious injuries happening in the first month of the season than normal, you know, because these guys are going to be out of shape. But, you know, it is what it is. It's going to be exciting. 14 is dumb. Yeah, I mean, I get it. But the thing is, it won't be dumb is once that 7 seed, right, whatever that lowest seed is, ends up making an AFC NFC championship game in the first couple years, and they start upsetting some teams. You know, and then it'll be like, okay. And you never know what happens if it ends up being your team, you know, post-Drew Brees era. You know, and if you're the 7th seed, you're not going to be like, I don't want the fucking playoffs. Of course you do. I mean, imagine going 10-6 and then not making the playoffs. You'd be pissed, right? I mean, of course you want to have structure. You know, and 12 out of 32 is one thing, but 14 out of 32, one extra team isn't going to kill you. You know what I mean? If anything, it might make you more battle-tested as you're going to the Super Bowl run in the AFC NFC Championship game. Lenny D says, Ryan, if we lose Ruggs, I want Chase Claypool and then get KJ Hamler in the later rounds. You're not going to lose Ruggs. Fly, Eagles, fly, right? That's the guy. That's the guy that you have your eyes on. That's the guy that you want. That's the guy that's the deep threat. That's the guy that's going to make the most sense, you know, to keep you guys relevant in the NFC East. Henry Ruggs. You got to do whatever it takes to get Henry Ruggs, period. And with the comp picks, right, you had 1 3rd rounder and 2 4th rounders. Your boy Reeds, your boy's on top of it, right? Trade some of that shit for the compensation to get Ruggs, right? You got the picks. Now you just got to be smart. Howie's got to get the job done. And if Amari Cooper isn't going to come, right, and you're certain pieces, you know, you're not going to be able to get. I mean, you're not going to. I mean, you can go Robbie Anderson, you know, Emmanuel Sanders, you know, if you want to go that route. But personally, I would rather go for a rookie. I'd rather go for some of this talent that we have in this draft, you know, personally. So let me take a quick look to see if there's any other news. Comment in the chat if there's any other news of anything that is breaking. I mean, I got NFL Network Total Access on behind me here. And let's see if there's anything else. Amari Cooper, $100 million deal with Dallas. That's crazy. But they locked him in. So they were sold on him. And it's funny how everyone's getting the money but Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? Everyone is just getting the big dollars. They're just holding off as long as they can. And you'll know, too, if they end up drafting Jalen Hurts, the Cowboys. Because if they draft Jalen Hurts, that's going to be a foreshadowing sign that they don't believe in Dak or they don't want to pay Dak the money, that they want to go cheap. And then they can get the same kind of statistics, or they're thinking that they're going to get similar type statistics as well. Titans fan. Also, as a Titans fan, Bill O'Brien of the Texans is a genius for shipping Hopkins out of the AFC South. Well, as a Titans fan, that's going to be exciting just because of all the things that they did. They benched Mariota. You got Tannehill, which I love. Out of all the quarterbacks that were available in free agency, to be very honest, that was the one that I liked the best. A lot of people aren't on Ryan Tannehill's bandwagon. I've liked the guy since Texas A&M. He was a wide receiver, transitioned into a quarterback. I really do like Ryan Tannehill. So I think he's a guy that's a leader. He's got good zip on the football. He's got good footwork. You know what I mean? He just needed a change of scenery from the Dolphins. And at that point, the Dolphins didn't really have anything to work with. Right? So, I mean, what were you expecting out of him in Miami? But now he goes somewhere where he feels he can succeed with a Derrick Henry. Quarterback's best friend is a running game that's really strong. Derrick Henry provides that. You did lose Conklin, which is going to hurt, but you still got Taylor Lewan, which I love. A.J. Brown is nice. Humphreys, you got from my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Adam Humphreys. I mean, you got nice pieces, you know, there. Jonnu Smith. So you got nice pieces all around, and then the defense is nice too. So, you know, they should be in the mix for a playoff push for the next few years. I really do like what the Titans are bringing. And they definitely surprised people, and they got on a hot streak. And sometimes you don't have to be the best team in December. You just got to be the hottest team. And it was nice to see them blow up and show people what they could do. Mariota agrees to the deal with the Raiders. Byron Jones, highest paid corner. Kyle Van Noy going to the Patriots, to the Dolphins, $51 million. So that's pretty much it. Is there any other news, you guys? Anything else that you guys want me to go over? Like I said, it's been a long day today. I wanted to grind and show you, everything that I got with free agency, NFL updates and free agency frenzy 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy like Odin's Child, Jameson, Smitty, and guess what? Who else? Dan Goodling. Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys. And you can also get our merch. Link below every video on our YouTube page. You can donate at patreon.com/NWSF. And you can also donate at www.gofundme.com. And the space bar, type in NW space sports space fanatics. It's been a long day, man. 7 reaction videos and a live stream. Your boy is grinding every single day. Saint signed a long snapper. Hey, you got to take with what you can get, man. Thoughts on Morrison and Jeff Hardy? Man, wrestling right now is crazy. I mean, I haven't got a chance to watch Raw because I'm on the West Coast. So Raw came on for me 34 minutes ago. You guys got Raw 3 hours ago. So I have no idea what's going on Raw besides the fact that someone said they showed the Royal Rumble for the first 2 hours. But with no WrestleMania in Tampa, and they're doing it in the Performance Center with no fans. I don't really know what to expect. It's probably going to be a shitty show. I can't really see them putting on an amazing show with no fans because that's what the wrestlers feed off of. The NBA and the NFL and the college football and MLB, we feed off the fans, and especially wrestling. I think maybe wrestling, out of more than any other sport, you can't really consider maybe wrestling a sport like soccer, MLB, NFL, NBA, but as far as professional wrestling, it definitely hurts the most with no fans. You can still play MLB and NFL, college football. I mean, you can still do it. It'd be like practice, out there. But it really takes a big hit, I feel, in wrestling when you don't have fans out there because that shit on SmackDown was embarrassing. He said, breaking news, Tom Brady signs with the Chiefs in order to win more rings from the bench as he'll be backing up Mahomes. Yeah. I want him to come to Tampa. And like I said, I never thought that Tom Brady, I'm hoping tomorrow morning that, they say Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2 years, $30 million, $35 million, fuck it, even $40 million. If they want to pay him $20 million a year for, 2 years, $40 million, fuck it. You know what I mean? As long as anybody but Jameis Winston. I got a shitload of cap. I got like 75, 80 million in cap. So, I got plenty of room to be able to pay some big dollars. So it's either Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady, Chargers with with Tom Brady, right? We got better wide receivers on our end, but Bruce Arians, you could probably do more there with that head coach than the Chargers. But obviously, if you move to LA with Giselle, that might make a little bit more sense. But Tampa Bay, Chargers, or New England. Going back to New England might be the best case scenario with Josh McDaniels. But you know what I mean? Does he want to prove that he can do it still on his own? Does Bill Belichick want to prove that he can do it on its own? Because the thing is, if I can't get Tom Brady, then I better get Teddy Bridgewater. Because I don't want to really necessarily have Andy Dalton or Nick Foles, because then it's really going to start getting thin. At that point, because I want Trevor Lawrence, but if I can't get him in the first pick in the draft and be really shitty or trade up following year, there's who else is left? Then I would have to try to trade up and get Tua or Justin Herbert or Jordan Love. Those are going to be the options because Burrow more than likely will go in the top 3 picks, if not the first pick overall. Tua and Justin Herbert could end up being top 7 picks. And then Jordan Love could be a top 10 pick if someone really loves him. So, there's not a whole lot of options for me. But I would almost rather go for one of those rookies rather than going for one of these older guys except Brady. That might be the only one. So, should the Eagles trade for OBJ or Slay? OBJ, absolutely hell no there. You don't want a distraction there. Ruggs would be way better, in that position. And big play Slay, I love him. I love Darius Slay. But I just don't know what compensation you're going to have to give up to Detroit to be able to get a player like that. But big play Slay would look hella nice, really savvy and slick, in an Eagle uniform. He's a better fit. You don't need Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham is kind of like Randy Moss back in the day when he was on the Raiders, when he took plays off. He kind of gives me that mentality where it's more about his Instagram, it's more about his clothes and his image, rather than giving all he has every single game. Seems like he takes plays off. And he's as amazing player that he is. He's one of those guys that's really liked, in the NFL community. One-handed grab, going Odell, getting crazy with it. But the thing is, as far as like my team, I don't think. If he was on Tampa Bay, you got to accept the player that you have. But, I mean, I definitely like a lot of players more than Odell that are on a similar skill level. Mike Evans, I like him better. Devontae Adams, I like him better. Julio, better. I want a guy that's going to work hard for me. Michael Thomas, can't guard Mike, better. DeAndre Hopkins, better. 2-round picks. 2nd-round pick for Slay would get the job done. Yeah, so we'll see. Breeze and Brady, right? 2 years or 2 times in a row. Like if you could have that 2 years this year, 2 years, 2 times this year, 2 times the following year, that'd be amazing because we don't really see Breeze and Brady matchups. Brady would look good. You know what I mean? Like I said, the offensive line needs to be improved. I need to get a stud running back. But, I mean, the best case scenario for me is if I can get Brady and then get Jonathan Taylor or Dobbins, if I, certain pieces. I need to get a stud running back. I like Jonathan Taylor the best personally. I think he's a guy that could really fit the system for me. And then Tom Brady, keep adding to the defense. I mean, I just want to be competitive. I want to be relevant, especially not, been a playoff team since 2007. It would be just nice to compete. Is DJ Moore a number 1 receiver? Yes, he is. I mean, we saw what Curtis Samuel did and him breaking out. DJ Moore started to break out for a guy that's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. I ain't no dummy. I'm one of the smartest, guys that's out there as far as NFL, research and analysis and breakdown and tape. And, I read 6 to 8 hours a day. He is a number 1 wide receiver. You thought back in the day it was going to be Kelvin Benjamin, and he just got fat. And then you let him go. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, a bigger receiver like that couldn't get the job done, didn't have the discipline, right? Didn't have the discipline, right? But DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, they got it going on. And you got Christian McCaffrey. Your boy reads. Your boy knows, right? So, obviously, that's why people love this channel. I'm not biased. I could be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, but that doesn't mean I don't follow all the other teams and I'm fans, of all the other teams. I literally love watching every team play. From Jacksonville to Cleveland to Arizona to Tampa Bay, I'm just curious what you were thinking because Steve Smith said he wasn't. Well, it's Steve Smith. I mean, he's going to have his opinion because, Steve Smith is the best wide receiver you've ever had besides Mushin Muhammad, right? So, of course, he's going to say that because he was the man in Carolina, right? Who was better than him in Carolina? Him and Mushin Muhammad ran shit, right? There wasn't really anyone else. But this is the new breed and the new generation. I mean, you could have DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel be a 2 and a 3, but you definitely need a 1. But, the only way you're going to get a 1 is, who are you going to bring in? You'd have to have like a CeeDee Lamb or a Jerry Jeudy, But as far as his size and what they do, in my opinion, he has room to get better. He might not be a proven 1, and Curtis Samuel might not be a proven 2, but they're growing and they're getting better. Now it just depends on if you can get Cam Newton healthy to get the chemistry to improve these players and get them better, and better. I'm not saying that DJ Moore is a top 10 wide receiver because he's not, right? Curtis Samuel isn't a top 10 wide receiver in the league because he's not, but they're not bad. They improved quite a bit last season from year to year. And your boy knows because I watch tape and I read all about the NFC South. I'm always going over everything Falcons, everything Panthers, everything Saints, everything Buccaneers. So, and, obviously you can respect with what I say because what I say is true. Because if you're a fan, I'm watching these teams very closely. So, but I appreciate you guys very, very much. NFL updates and free agency frenzy 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Odin's Child, Jameson, Smitty, and guess what? Who else? Dan Gooding. Appreciate you very, very much. You guys are the best. $10, $2.99, $14.99, $10. 7 reaction videos done today, and a live stream that's almost going to be 2 hours. I don't really know anyone else on planet fucking Earth that has that kind of dedication or grind or drive. But like I said, NFL, we love it. Right? We love this shit. We love NFL. We love college football. And thank God that this fucking shit is going on right now. Just because if it wasn't, we really would be, I would still be doing reaction videos of the talent that you never anticipated going to bed last night. You woke up this morning and you're like, holy shit, what a day one, a Monday madness, a free agency frenzy. To the least, it was crazy. Saints are close to a deal with Breeze. That's already a done deal. You already know. It just depends on if he wants to take less money so they can go after someone else. But hopefully Taysom Hill, Breeze, those are the ones that you're going to want to keep. And if I can't get Tom Brady and I can't get one of these rookies, in the draft, then I guess if I have to take Teddy Two Gloves on Tampa Bay, I mean, I don't know if that's their second choice on who they're looking at, but I mean, it's starting to get thin. Because, I mean, if I guess I can't, I'm not sure if I really would want Teddy Two Gloves, though. I'd probably want to just go Jordan Love, Tua, or Herbert, personally. But if I had to go for that option, if Tom Brady goes back to New England, right, I don't want Jameis whatsoever. And if I get Jameis to stay forward, it's going to be brutal. Bird Gang said, how good is Javon Hargrave? Have you watched him? Do some tape watching, bro. You didn't watch him at all? He's nice. Really nice. Because the thing is like you can pair him up with Fletcher Cox. His game is one of those things where a lot of people don't know some of the lower players, but if you end up watching tape and just seeing what he does on the field, right. But that's the thing. If you're a fanatic of the game, you can still love the Eagles, right? But it's good to scout out a lot of players, you know what I mean? And to be able to watch the league as a whole, like I do, and Marcus does, you know what I mean? But he's nice. Like I said, he's going to be a monster. He's going to be able to help plug up the middle, get you sack lunches, yum, 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 right? Fletcher Cox, he's got a nice, piece right next to him. So it's going to be nice, man. They are going to be able to get some good production off of him. Is he going to be like a Pro Bowl player? Probably not, but he's a nice cog to what the Eagles are really trying to do, week in and week out, dominate the NFC East competition on that side of the ball, win the battle in the trenches against the Cowboys, the Redskins, and the Giants. Randall Cobb to Houston to replace Hopkins. That would be a nightmare. Right. I don't think any Eagles fans were anticipating that. We knew Vaitai. We knew he was gone, and you guys can do better. So that's not a big loss there, right? But I don't think the Eagles fans or even just NFL fans were really seeing that coming, right? But usually if you're looking for that need within the first 3 rounds, if you don't end up drafting a player like that and you end up getting one in free agency, you can mark that off the list. So that's one less piece that you have to worry about. And like I said, I think Ruggs is really what they're looking at. I mean, they're looking at a wide receiver. They're going to be looking at a corner. They're going to be looking at pieces to help the Eagles really try to dominate the NFC East. It's going to be tougher now because the Giants are slowly going to be getting better and better with the draft picks that they get to help Saquon and Daniel Jones and the offensive line with Hernandez and building the defense. They're still going to be on the bottom of the barrel, but they're going to be getting better, right? Redskins, you got Riverboat Ron, you got Jack Del Rio. They're going to have to decide if they want Haskins or if they want to go with a new regime and go Tua. But if it was me, I'd go Chase Young. Got Kerrigan. You got some nice pieces there. Scary Terry McLaurin. And then with the Cowboys, they're bringing back most of their pieces besides Byron Jones. So, big facts. So, I mean, it's going to be exciting. NFC East is always a battle. You guys are just going to be, punching each other in the mouth, just kind of like the AFC North. Steelers, Browns, Ravens, you know what I mean? Just punching each other consistently, in the mouth for a position. And I like that. The only team that's kind of like out of the mix is the Bengals, kind of like the Giants. But the other 3, Browns, Steelers, Ravens, bang, 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 right? Eagles, Redskins, Cowboys, bang, bang. But even the Giants sometimes, just big physical matchups, just punching each other in the head. And I like watching the NFC matchups a lot, to be honest. Even though I'm an NFC guy, South, right? I love watching NFC East matchups. Cowboys, Redskins. I can't get enough. Redskins, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles. I love that shit. That shit is like must-see TV for me, just with the players and just me being a fan of the NFL and just being an NFC guy. I mean, I love AFC games as well, but if you're an NFC guy, you have a certain appreciation for it. We just got to get better announcing, for the NFC. They got Tony Romo and Jim Nantz. Who the fuck do we got? Troy Aikman and Joe Buck? Fuck that. I mean, I'd rather have Peyton Manning and Al Michaels, but that's probably going to be Monday Night Football if they go there. I think the Redskins did change their scheme. I believe they did. Kendall Fuller to the Redskins, 4-year, $40 million. Woo! Did that just happen? You never know with everything here on Twitter. If you guys have Twitter, I'd recommend it because, I mean, it gives you all the breaking news quicker than anywhere else. I love Twitter. Twitter is my favorite app out of all of them. Better than Insta, better than Facebook. I mean, I love it. Randall Cobb to the Texans, 3-year, $27 million. Wow, unbelievable. Yeah, but the thing is the AFC games were better than the last few years. You're an NFC dude, right? Nocturnal Tech Talk. But the thing is the AFC is like the Eastern Conference in the NBA. It's top heavy. Ravens, Chiefs, Pats, Titans, and then it kind of drops off, right? And you have Chargers and a few other teams. But the NFC is a lot more depth, right? Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Saints, Packers. I mean, you got a lot more competitive juices flowing, in the roster. Sometimes the Falcons are good. Sometimes the Panthers are good. I mean, you got certain teams. You got the Vikings. You got so many teams. The Cowboys and the Eagles and the Redskins. There's just so many teams that are grouped in the NFC. It's more competitive, kind of like the Western Conference in the NBA. So I think, to me personally, the NFC is more entertaining than the AFC because unless you get an AFC matchup like Ravens, Chiefs, Patriots, Chiefs, Patriots, Ravens, Titans, Ravens, Titans, Chiefs, you know what I mean? Like if you get some of the top tier matchups, they're off the chain, right? But if you go below Jacksonville and Cleveland and the Bengals, you know what I mean? I'd rather watch Arizona prior to even the DeAndre Hopkins than some of those other matchups. You know what I mean? Some of the Tampa Bay's bad, right? The Lions are bad sometimes, the Cardinals, but depending on the matchup, if it's like an NFC West matchup, sometimes it ends up being pretty exciting. The Niners and the Cardinals, they battled it out on Halloween. It was pretty nice. I remember because I drank like fucking 20 Coronas that game. It was nice. I ended up getting a couple $100 in donations. It was a Corona party, but not the one, coronavirus. Just Corona with the limes. So, big facts. Said, I still wonder how Cam Newton carried that 2015 team to the Super Bowl. They weren't that good. They were good. Come on, man. They were good. You can't go 15-1 and say the team wasn't good. The team was good. You know what I mean? You just ran into Von Miller and the Denver Broncos, and you ran into Peyton Manning. Obviously with Peyton Manning, losing to the Seahawks in the Legion of Boom, you knew if they got there again, more than likely, it was tough to stop Peyton Manning when he's in his groove. And Peyton Manning is one of the best quarterbacks, the most intelligent quarterback, arguably, of all time. So the defense did carry the team. The defense was off the chain. But you can't go 15-1 ever and say they weren't that good. Because if it wasn't for Von Miller, right? If it wasn't for Von Miller, could have probably got a little bit closer to winning that Super Bowl. But they just had too many X factors. Peyton Manning, Von Miller, the pieces that they had were on top of their game. You know what I mean? It's like when the Ravens played the Niners and Ray Lewis was on the Ravens. I knew that the Ravens were going to win when you had those X factors, you know what I mean, that really take the game to a whole nother level. They're just that Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame player. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do when they're on the big stage. So nothing to be sad about, you know what I mean? But think about this, at least the NFC South has represented in the Super Bowl, since 2002. 2002 Tampa Bay, we won it. The Saints, right, in the late 2000s, right, they won it. So they got their Super Bowls. The Falcons went. The Panthers went. They didn't win, but at least they got there. And think about it. No one thought at the beginning of the year or midway through the year that the Panthers or the Falcons were going to get there, but they did. So it shows you the depth, of the NFC South. So said, don't sleep on my Bucks. Are you a Buck fan, Nocturnal? I'm a Buck fan. Since 1995, my guy. I'm not sure if you're new to the channel or not, but I'm a huge Buccaneer fan. I've gone through the ups and the downs. Derek Brooks is my favorite player of all time. Got a jersey in the closet. Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice, Mike Allstott, Rondé Barber, John Lynch, Dexter Jackson, Dwight Smith. I mean, I won't even mention Booger McFarland because he's horrible on the mic. You feel me? You're new? Subscribe now, man. I'm a huge Buccaneer fan. And I live out here in Oregon, okay? So this channel has been going on for a couple years, but huge Buccaneer fan. Brad Johnson, right? Michael Pittman, Keenan McCardell, Joe Juravicius, Keyshawn Johnson, Ken Dilger. I mean, I had Jeff Christie at center. Come on, man. Your boy knows, man. You know what I'm saying? Bonafide Bucks fan. I mean, like I said, but I follow all the teams. But Bucks fan, haven't been to playoffs since 2007. It's been miserable. I'm a Mariner fan because I met Ken Griffey Jr. in his rookie year in '89, got his autograph, met his dad, Ken Griffey Sr., Big Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Ichiro guy. They've sucked since 2001. They haven't been to the playoffs since Ichiro's rookie year. They suck. Blazers, they suck, even though they went to the West Finals against the Warriors, and they got swept, right? So I got typically two teams that suck year in and year out, the Buccaneers and the Mariners, but I still root for them. I still go to the games, when I can in Seattle, right? Blazers, I still go, and then the Oregon Ducks, right? That might be the only team that's been consistently pretty good for me since I've been a little kid. But, I've been a Duck fan since the 90s. Same thing with the Buccaneers, 1995, Blazers since the 80s, and Mariners since the 80s. You know what I mean? So it's been a long time coming, man. And it's cool. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of Bucks fans that are on the channel. There's a couple. Scott's Week in Sports, he lives out in Florida, and he's a Tampa Bay Rays fan and a Buccaneer fan. We have a couple of them, but if you're a Buck fan, that's sweet, man. You know what I mean? I'll be doing a lot of Buck coverage, because I follow him. I got so many Buccaneer jerseys in my closet. I got a Josh Freeman sewn Buccaneers jersey. That shows you what kind of hardcore fan that I am. If you go look in my closet, I got a Derek Brooks jersey in the closet. I got a Warren Sapp jersey in the closet. I got a Doug Martin jersey in the closet. Josh Freeman jersey in the closet. Levante David jersey. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And I got a Doug Williams jersey in my closet. I mean, throwback with the creamsicle orange. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. We got the best content for any YouTube channel that deals with sports here, period. There's other channels out there that got editing, right? There's other channels out there that got more subs, right? Maybe more views. But for us being, full-time on the channel, since about 2017, it's been about two to 3 years to be almost at 20,000 subscribers, starting at 0 with all one-take videos, no editing, and almost 3 million views is a huge accomplishment. And like I said, with the amount of research and reading I do and tape watching I do, 6 to 8 hours a day, with not having any bias, we give credit where credit's due. That's why people come here. You know what I mean? They know I got a good voice. I got the podcast radio voice. I got the energy. I got the passion. And if you go back and watch some of the reaction videos or the live streams, I mean, there was times this season where I did 3 games in a row. The morning game, the afternoon game, and the Sunday night football game straight. Play-by-play, reactions, color commentary, and vibing in the chat. Full energy. And can you imagine, if you do one game by yourself, how you would feel if and when it's commercial break? There is no commercial break when you're doing a live stream. You're just continuously talking for 3.5 hours. And I did a few of those this season. 9 hours, 10 hours straight. So, I got so much Buck stuff. You got a work done jersey? Which one? You got a work done Bucks jersey or Falcons jersey? I love the old school Buck stuff. But I appreciate that, Nocturnal. It's cool to meet another Buccaneer fan, so thank you, man. Appreciate you. You'll be on here now and go through the content. Like I said, we have 800, 900 videos that we've done. And like I said, the fans are great. I mean, there'll be some live streams where we would make $100, $200, $300, $400 in just one game. Just me talking. You know what I mean? It's me calling the game, making up nicknames, just showing the energy and the passion. And it's awesome. You're going to feel the love. Once in a while, you'll get $100 donations from people. You know what I mean? And some of my friends, they don't get it. You know what I mean? They're they just listen to you talk football. But if you listen to me, you know what I mean? I feel that with the skill set and everything I've devoted my life to NFL and college football, I mean, I could be on an NFL network as a special guest or ESPN or FS1 or Vice Channel, but I'm just trying to build the channel, here for YouTube. But you can definitely tell when you talk to someone or you watch someone on YouTube or on TV or radio or podcast, you can tell instantly within the first couple minutes, do they know what they're talking about or are they full of shit? And obviously I think with me being a fan of the game and all the teams, same thing with Marcus, even though he's a Redskin fan and I'm a Buccaneer fan, it gives us credibility. Because, I mean, how many Buccaneer fans and Redskin fans are out there that are hardcore? He's from D.C., and I'm out here in the Northwest, but, I've never wavered, even when the team is shitty. So, signed Falcons jersey, work done. That's awesome. He was always one of my favorite players. When we had Work Done and Mike Allstott, that was the best duo at running back that we've had. And they were hoping that Doug Martin, the muscle hamster, was going to be like a Work Done, be the next guy. But, Josh Jacobs is the truth. That's what I thought Doug Martin was going to be, is a Josh Jacobs. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. But hopefully I can end up, getting to a point where we can get our Josh Jacobs, which I hope is Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. So Nocturnal says, you're talking about. Damn right, man. But it's awesome. I appreciate the sub if you ended up subbing already. And like I said, if you go through the content, I can do NFL, college football, NBA, AEW, wrestling, soccer, rugby. We've done it all. But, the one thing is you're going to learn something new. You're going to have an entertaining podcast, live stream. It's never going to be boring. I give 110% every time. And the fans that are in the chat are the best. We have literally the best fans on YouTube out of any sports channel. so many of the fans that are in the chat and people that watch the show and come on the live stream are so intelligent. Like, you know, when you meet with friends and if you're the one that knows everything about your team, imagine having that scenario of being you're the guy that knows about the most in your friend group. We got about thousands of those type of people that are their girl or their guy in their group, and they're all in the same page together where we can just talk football. You know what I mean? No matter what race or age that you are. You know, we got kids all the way up to, you know, grandpas and grandmas, and we got people in Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, all over the world. So, yeah, it's awesome. David Knight, I sub, Chiefs fan here. You haven't shut up, and it's all about football. Thank you, man. And the thing is, it's tough. You know, I don't think people really realize how hard it is to continuously put on a good show, you know, nonstop. Like, we're going in here with 1 more minute to go for 2 hours, and I have never taken a break. You haven't seen me go take a piss or shit or get water or eat pizza. You know what I mean? So it shows you. And I've done 7 videos today. Think about the energy and the passion. You know what I mean? I did fucking 7 videos today. 7. You name other YouTubers that put out 7 videos a day. Fucking nobody. And a live stream for 2 hours. But I do it for the fans and the love. You know what I mean? You guys are the best. You know what I mean? And we love football, especially college football and NFL. Those are my favorites besides, you know, AEW wrestling. That's probably my 3rd favorite thing besides NFL and college football. So, but appreciate you guys. I love you guys. NFL updates and free agency frenzy 2020 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here or patreon.com/NWSF or going to our GoFundMe, www.gofundme.com. Right? Type in the search bar NW space sports space fanatics, and you can look at the picture of me and Marcus and donate to my dream of opening up a studio, YouTube studio here in my hometown to make other content creators' dreams come true. If they don't have the resources to make it happen, I will make it happen eventually. I will get the right person to donate and help me get to the point where I can make other people's dreams come true, because that's what's important to me. You know what I mean? If you work hard and you have a dream and you have passion and you have energy and you don't quit, right? You got to have talent, but you got to have the dedication and the drive to be able to make it happen. And obviously going from 0 subs to 20,000, we're right on the cusp. We're at like 700 more to hit 20,000, and we're not really getting a whole lot of help from YouTube. You know, sometimes they'll even turn the notifications off of some of the, you know, people that, you know, subscribe to us. But you can look at the notification bar, hit the bell, all the new videos, and you're definitely going to learn something new. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. And then as we go into NFL season next year, you'll see what it's really about. I mean, we have a blast doing live streams as well as reaction videos. The first couple years was reaction videos only, and then I ended up moving the equipment here after my dad had a stroke, and we just started doing live streams to games in the preseason. So in August. So in the, you know, the 3rd season of us doing the Northwest Sports Fanatics pretty much full time, and it had great success. And the fans are crazy. So much love and support. And now it looks like NFL Network is playing a football game. Tom Brady? What's going on here? Patriots and Falcons Super Bowl? What is this? I don't even know what this is, but they got some kind of, I think it might be the Super Bowl. Yeah, Super Bowl. Falcons and Patriots. That might be a sign for me. But like I said, it's been about 2 hours. Like I said, I've been grinding all day, all night. So I'm probably going to end the stream just to give my voice a little bit of a rest to get ready for tomorrow. Once I go to the temp agency, hopefully I get some great news. Then I can get a warehouse job, and I can start on Wednesday. It just sucks because a lot of these jobs with the coronavirus, people are being extra cautious. And obviously, as you heard, a lot of the bars and restaurants and movie theaters are closing down nationwide, so you can only get takeout. So luckily, I'm not a bartender. I don't work with food, right? But warehouse jobs seem like kind of the, you know, right fit for me. But some of them are only paying like $12.50, $13 an hour, and I'm normally used to making about $14 to $16 an hour. So it's taking a little bit of a pay cut, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, as long as I can get some extra funds to be able to pay rent and get it moving. I appreciate that, Tess. Thank you. So we'll see where it goes. And then I might have to do a couple temp jobs until I can find something, you know, a little bit more permanent. But, you know, you got to grind. And I appreciate every single one of y'all that's in the chat. I hope I entertained you today. We've had a wild day. If you want to go back and be entertained, go back through the 7 videos that I did today, going over the highlights. So not only will I break down the news, right? You'll have a reaction video to a lot of those videos that I do, so you can actually see the highlights of your favorite players or players that are in the news, as well as my little content, my 2 cents as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, donate to your boy if you can at any point. It'd be greatly appreciated. And if you're looking for merch, which we have also, t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, if you want to represent, in your hometown with the stuff that we have, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. It's all through Teespring, so it's good quality stuff. Links are below every video on our YouTube page. So does anyone else in the chat have anything else that they want to go over before I go? Because I'll probably end up watching this Patriots and Falcons Super Bowl since it's on, and I'm going to be doing some more reading and due diligence. But like I said, it's been a long day, 7 reaction videos, the 2-hour live stream. Is there anyone else in the chat that has anything that they want to touch on? Let me know. Comment below if you have anything. But I appreciate all the new people that have subbed. Looks like David Knight subbed recently. Chiefs fan, appreciate you. Nocturnal, Tech Talk, another Bucks fan. That's awesome, man. I didn't know there was any other Bucks fans on planet Earth. I thought I was the only one. It's been a long road. So, but it looks like anyone else thinks it should be done. So again, NFL updates and free agency frenzy 2020. Hope you guys had a fantastic Monday. It's been incredible with the moves, with the people getting cut, people getting the extensions, people getting traded like DeAndre Hopkins. Make sure you guys have a great Monday. Be safe from this damn coronavirus. Wash them damn hands. And you'll see me tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with hopefully some great news. Tom Brady to the Buccaneers. That's what I'm hoping. And a few more reaction videos. And if I am able to do a live stream, I'll try to do that depending on what I have for a job. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your night. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Tess, the best moderator in the business. And everyone else in the building. Calvin, David, scrolling up here. Smitty, Nocturnal. Everyone that's still in the building, thank you, Camden. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Have a great rest of your night. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Thank you to Odin's Child, $10. Jameson Meza, first donation ever, $2.99. Smitty, Werb and Jaegerman Jensen #1, $14.99. And then also, let's give a special shout out to Dan Gooding. Looks like he might be from New Zealand. $10 donation. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Tech Talk, appreciate you. Go Bucks. And I will be back shortly. Have a great rest of your night. Wash them hands. Tom Brady to the Chargers, maybe. But Tom Brady to the Buccaneers would be better. Have a great rest of your night. You guys can always go back and watch this live stream again once I end it. And I have 7 reaction videos as well that I did today. Thanks to all that donated, liked, and subbed. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your night. Peace.